Oh, we're live. Hey! Welcome once again to the Three Dudes Podcast!
Hey! We're back, everybody.
Yeah, had a couple of weeks off.
The guys you know and
Yeah, that's about it. You know who they are. You know who they are, and that's enough.
We've been up to some good things, Morty, these past few weeks.
We have.
We've been enjoying some time.
Morty.
Fuck, help me.
This is the burpiest episode ever.
It's starting off with a bang.
We've been enjoying some times in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, man.
We've been I've been playing more video games than would
I've been
reasonably be considered healthy for a 30-year-old man. I turned 30 recently. So now
To a new decade of your life.
yeah.
Which will be pretty similar to the one before it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hear. 30's the new 20.
Yeah. Nothing changes, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I dreaded it for so long, but it just ended up being the same.
Fucking Germans.
Nothing changes.
Fucking Nazis. Nothing changes.
Changes.
You know what what really weirdly set me at ease was the fact that I wouldn't have been as concerned about turning 30 if it wasn't for the fact that humans use base 10 numbering.
Yeah.
If we used anything else, this wouldn't be a milestone.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like if we had a base 12 system, you'd be like biting your nails at 35.
Yeah.
Right.
But as it is, it's an arbitrary thing.
You are going on.
What you actually mean is 2012.
Yeah.
Base 12 number. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how base 10 works. I don't know hexadecimals and all this
I
bullshit.
just shorted the fuck out. Like you said that to me, and I went,
Kony 2012.
Cody 2012.
Kony 2012.
You're all fucking stupid. Nobody knows what that is.
Nobody knows what that is.
We know what that is.
That dude is decomposing somewhere in the jungle.
Yeah,
right
I know.
now.
It has been since before Cody 2012 started.
Yeah, right.
More
Most
than
likely.
likely. Yeah. So anyway,
But what if Kony ate a Kony? Wouldn't that be kind of silly?
What like Coney Baloney?
or got a Coney Island hot dog?
What if he did the
that's what I'm
Watusi
saying.
like Gary Busey?
What if Kony had a Kony
What if Coney
with a side of bologna?
What if Coney went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his cap, and called it macaroni?
Kony's Coney Pony. And it would deliver Coney's
Cody's
to
bologna.
Cody.
Hey, Tony. Oh, hey, Cody.
Coney's baloney pony.
What are you doing on that pony? Oh, I'm delivering bologna.
Boney.
I'm delivering bologna to Pony. Leave him alone.
I'm Coney. I'm Coney.
Boney? You mean Boney Maroney?
Leave me alone.
So that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First pun of the reboot.
We're right back to it.
Right back to
nothing
it.
You
important.
guys
happening over
remember old memes? We sure do.
here.
Dude Farm remembers.
Yeah, dude, fam remembers.
So anyway, we've been having some good times here in Dude Land, here in Youngstown. But we're also fucked because we're always fucked.
Just like criminally fucked.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
How would you define criminally fucked?
I don't. There are definitions for that, I'm sure. And I am not touching any of that.
Yep.
Nor would I.
fucked.
Nor would I. Criminally fucked.
We are severely fucked.
Yeah. And I'd like to start off by saying that I'm for the sake of good taste, for the fact that I can't endorse someone like this, I have to retract an earlier recommendation. You may remember an album I recommended called "Ascend" by an Australian man named Pogo.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
shit! I knew this was gonna come up between us eventually.
He goes on the internet by Pogo. In reality, he's an Australian man named Nick Burtke.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to read this from The Verge. This was an article from June 1st of this year, so a little over 2 weeks ago. Remix artist Nick Burtke, better known online as Pogo, is a musician who turns songs and sounds from Disney films like Alice in Wonderland and Up into dreamy chillwave songs with millions of YouTube views. You know the drill. Earlier this week, a wildly homophobic video surfaced where Burtke states that he views, quote, gays as an abomination, end quote, and cheers the 2016 massacre at the gay nightclub Pulse in Orlando. Faced with immediate backlash, the musician is now trying to walk his statements back.
Nope.
claiming the internet has taken the video very far out of context and proportion. There is no context in which.
No, there's no context in saying that a massacre is a good thing.
It's a social social engineering. I just played all of you.
Now, to illustrate that you guys are wrong, I'm going to follow this with all kinds of out of context shit from this show that makes us sound like
yes,
monsters.
it's a valid point. Yeah, that's a valid point. Yeah,
I mean, I haven't seen the original video, and I would probably think that most people's reaction, I mean, the fact that this is blown up like this, they're probably not misrepresenting anything.
No.
Did he say it was a joke?
They always say it's
Just
a
a
joke.
prank.
They
Just a
always
Prank,
do.
bro.
Bro, come on.
In the video, which was filmed in 2016, Bertkey addresses why he chose the username Fagatron for his YouTube channel.
Gotta hand it to him.
I've always had a very thorough.
Like, I'm not going to laugh at the word faggotron.
I've always. God damn it.
Gotta give it to him.
I've always had a very thorough dislike of homosexuals, he says. I've never liked a grown man acting like a 12-year-old girl. I've always found that to be quite disgusting.
Okay, that's not a joke.
No,
See, the
that's-
the thing is, we could rationalize the shit that we say as a joke.
Yeah, I can't see any way for that to be
That's not a joke.
After mentioning that he has a, quote, fairly robust resentment of the gay community, end quote,
Fairly robust.
he goes on.
Describes it like a Tonga truck or something.
He goes on to discuss the Pulse massacre, where 49 patrons of a gay nightclub were killed by a man who claimed allegiance to ISIS in both laudatory and Islamophobic terms. It's just fantastic, he says, fist pumping. It amazes me to see the West actually welcoming in a culture through the floodgates that once gays dead. I think that's fantastic.
It's pretty hard to envision that ever being intended as a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, many of these incidents were brushed off. Apparently, this wasn't the first time. Brushed off by Bertkey as stunts or social experiments, part of a pattern where he disclaims responsibility for noxious ideas while still broadcasting them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the key.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that kind of thing. You know, it's like the living ironically, the 4chan kind of thing, right? Of just like, you know, people sowing chaos on the internet and claiming that it's you know, I'm just messing with people. I'm just having a good time.
Yeah, it's the trouble is like how likely would you be to say these things in a real life open forum, going into like your local town hall meeting, for instance, where you know you don't know whether you're going to be surrounded with like-minded people, and you stand up and say, well, I personally I think all the gay people in Adelaide should just fucking die. Yeah. And like, you know, he'd never do it. He'd never do it. And it's because still hasn't sunk in with people that the internet is an open forum where no matter what, you are still accountable for what you say.
Yeah, absolutely.
You always have been, you always will be.
Unless you're on 4chan.
Unless you're on for unless you do it totally anonymously.
Yeah.
Totally anonymously. You are always accountable for what you say on the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't get to brush it off as a joke or anything like that, because if you're not willing to enter it into public record, don't fucking say it.
Yeah. Well, gosh, I think about the number of risque things that we have broached on this show. And
Yeah,
I think,
for sure.
And I kind of think I think I stand behind
Yeah, I do too.
most everything that has ever happened on this show.
I, as someone who has regularly said the most outrageous shit I can think of when I have a microphone in front of me, I'd stand behind all of it. It's if I'm joking, I'm joking.
Yeah.
If someone's offended, I'm sorry, but
Well, this is why we have Mr. Bucket to kind of take
yes.
the heat for us.
Right, yeah, that's right.
I think there's a very distinct difference.
Sorry, I'm doing the Mr. Autism thing.
Mr. Autism. Yeah.
With the hands over the head.
There's a very distinct difference, though, between like saying shit just for shock value and dedicating like an entire video to just being like all right, Pulse, well done.
Yeah.
You know, I think with us our intent is pretty obvious.
Yeah,
I think so, but there are some humorless fucks in the world.
for sure there are. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not listening to this show.
Gosh,
our show is for people with a sense of humor.
That's
I
true.
sure
I would say
hope so.
the people who listen, at least I talk to, who listen to the show, seem to, kind of be on our wavelength here with most of this.
I sort of feel like anyone without a sense of humor would be offended by this show for a whole lot of reasons.
Sure.
And not even just one specific kind of person.
Sure, but if you listen to all our serious discussion,
Yeah.
I don't think there would be any doubt in anyone's mind that we're we're about as leftist as you can reasonably be with without delving into.
I still don't even know if that's true.
darker
Exactly.
territories.
I don't know what I am anymore.
I just mean like in terms of social attitudes towards other
certainly
other
left
people.
of center. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's. I think anyone who listens to the podcast regularly
Would gather that. Yeah.
Yeah, knows that we're not homophobes. We don't actually think that Jews run the world,
Right.
From a secret cabal.
We don't.
We don't think that. Is that that's true?
I'm gonna write that down.
Oh,
Don't Jews don't.
I learned something today.
Who run the world? Jews.
That's like one of the weirdest. Isn't that like one of the strangest and most unfortunate ongoing beliefs?
And also, good for them. Like, even if it was true, like those people fucking suffered for thousands of years. Like, good for them. Let them run it.
Let the Jews have a crack at it.
Let the Jews have a crack at that, even though they're not going to be able to hit it very far.
Man, out of one hole and into another one. Woo! All right.
That was one of my favorite. You guys remember the movie Airplane, of course, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that was one of my favorite gags in Airplane. Is they're looking for like reading material, and he's like, "I know something just really light reading material. Oh, how about this leaflet? Famous Jewish sports legends." Da.
Jews.
Yeah, Jews.
Yeah.
The Jews. Yeah, people are shitty, man. It's like I think I said the last time we were all together, like I can't enjoy some of my favorite movies now, just because of the people that are in them or had a hand in them,
Yeah.
I haven't picked up Braveheart in a while because I get so skeeved out by Mel Gibson.
Right? Yeah, I know.
And yet Braveheart, it's I love that movie.
A lot of his movies are very good. Apocalyptico.
Oh yeah.
Is a very good movie.
Well, he also doesn't show up in that one.
Yes, he does, but he directed it. I know that he had a hand in it.
Yeah.
And it just
Probably both hands.
Yeah, probably both hands.
And a toe.
I'm
Sugar tits.
Well, this brings up an interesting question because it's like, because I recommended an album that on its own is very good.
Yeah.
But the guy who made it is a raging homophobe and shitheel, internet troll.
This is the thing that keeps bothering me.
This is Michael Jackson's the Michael Jackson paradox.
Yeah, it really is.
Right.
It's like, how much can we separate an artist from their work?
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
way harder when their face is the work.
Yes.
Like with actors.
Bill Cosby is a good example. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's even harder when it's like their ideas are their work, sure. like Bill Cosby or like a Louis C.K. kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just, it fucks with me because, again, so many of his remixes are from Morty Disney properties, which, if you've seen any Disney movie in the last 10 years, you know how like aggressively inclusive they've
Absolutely.
been.
Yeah, I find it so hard to imagine that the dude that thought the Pooh Bear thing would make a great song and then it did. Like, I find it like hard to imagine that kind of person.
Hop onto any well-traveled Tumblr blog sometime and see what you can find about Frozen. How many different interpretations there are about Frozen and what exactly it relates to, particularly in regards to sexuality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Disney does, they like to kind of try and slide this in under the radar, so it'll come in your family movie, but it won't be like
So Disney wants to slide in secretly and come in your family movie.
Disney wants to come in your family.
The Disney Corporation.
The point being that's really. That's really the ultimate way, I think, to foster acceptance is to behave as though people of other races, religions, sexualities, orientations. It's no big deal.
Yeah,
they're just there, and it's not a huge deal.
Kind of like real life.
Right. Right. Exactly. That is I think the best way to foster acceptance and inclusivity is to just make it like so
it's so weird because we live in the strangest times, right? And like I was listening to some people the other day, and I'm not gonna name who they were. They were talking about the new Star Wars movie is coming out, right?
Yeah.
And so the new Star Wars movie is like directed by a black woman, I guess, or maybe it was Solo. I don't know what movie it was. I heard this from them. Right?
Solo was Richie Cunningham.
Oh, was it Ron Howard?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard it wasn't great.
It wasn't. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I know it went through 4 director changes, and they had to stop production of the movie so they could teach the guy who plays Han Solo how to act.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's right. I remember reading that.
Yeah, he got the part because he looks good, but he doesn't know how to act. I heard Donald Glover was the only saving grace of that movie.
Yeah.
He
Well, because
absolutely,
Donald Glover's incredible.
yeah, he absolutely nailed the role of Lando Calrissian.
Well, I mean, when you get 3 pretty good movies in a row, you know, you're bound for you know,
yeah,
you're not gonna hit all of them.
yeah, sure.
So on the Star Wars thing, right? It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know which movie it is. It's directed by a black woman, right? Which by itself, it's like, okay, that's
Morty.
like, it's like, in a vacuum, it's like, that's just a detail. But everything ends up politicizing people now because we live in hell.
Sure.
So it's like, so to some people, that's like, oh God, they're like, some people are like over the moon, so excited. This is like what needed to happen. And then other people react to that like, well, who cares who it is? We just want a competent director. And your enthusiasm is actually kind of annoying to me.
Yeah.
And just people, it's like, for some reason, everything has to be a fight.
A very similar thing happened when before the release of Far Cry 5, like a few months before.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
There was a rumor circulating that the protagonist was a black woman. In reality, your protagonist is whatever gender and race you choose.
Okay.
Your character is you, or whatever you choose yourself to be in that game.
Yeah.
But people freaked out about it.
Right.
People freaked out about, like, you know, oh, this is Ubisoft pushing racial diversity, you know. And you're right. Everything has to be politicized. Everything has to be a fucking fight.
Yeah, for some people, that just feels like it's in their, like something being shoved in their face, which says way more about them than about the subject matter.
Yeah, it's because people want to feel fucking important. They want to have like a big, loud, dumb opinion that they can crusade with, and that's how they feel important because they got nothing else going on in their fucking lives.
and like, well, it's important to know that there are times when people shove shit down our throat.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would cite the Ghostbusters remake as a good example of that. That was a pure cash grab.
Yeah.
To capitalize on the political
It was
climate.
pretty. It was pretty cynical.
It was a pretty transparent, cash grab option. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't even just the movie itself. It was the studio reaction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Doing a Ghostbusters movie with 4 female leads is not a big deal.
Right.
Until it becomes, well, if you don't go see it,
Yeah, exactly.
you probably hate women.
Exactly. Right. Right.
You know, and then it's like, well, hold on. Can't the movie just suck if it sucks, or be good if it's good? Like, why do I have to see this movie for fucking moral reasons?
Right. Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
Ocean's 8 is going to be another good example of that, which I'm gonna go see it. Like, I'm not gonna not go. I like movies, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see movies. But
I watched it because it was Halloween and my girlfriend wanted to watch it, and I thought it was okay.
yeah, it's okay.
And
that was my impression. It's just okay.
And also because Melissa McCarthy, I think, is kind of cute.
Yeah.
She is, and she's really funny.
Yeah, she is really funny. God, this is like the 3rd day in a row
She
people
is.
around
She's
me are talking
hysterical.
about Melissa McCarthy.
She's really well. It's because you don't hear so much about funny women. You know what I mean? And not because women are inherently not funny.
It's funny though. Like when you hear about funny women, it's like making a point. It's
Yeah,
like,
right,
look
exactly.
and she's a woman, and how funny she is. It's like you guys got to stop doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
There have been plenty of very, very funny women.
Yeah.
I would argue Joan Crawford is in the top 10 greatest comedians of all time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
hands down. But, people don't talk about,
Betty White.
Betty White,
Joan Crawford. Why can I not picture Joan Crawford?
Joan Crawford, Joan Rivers. Jesus Christ. What an idiot.
Oh.
Got my Jones mixed up.
You gotta keep up with the Joneses. I got you. I'm picking up what you're laying
Yet
down.
again.
Yeah.
I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
Joan Rivers, not Joan. Joan Crawford, good actress, but
Johnny Rivers.
Johnny, old man River.
Secret Asian man.
Old man River.
Joan Baez.
It's what about you, Chris? Why
Why
do
am
you
I
feel fucked? How fucked are you?
I want you to know that I've practiced all week to
do the Morty burp?
To do the Morty burp.
All right.
Every time I burped, I would go, Morty. Damn it. Like I'm too late. I practiced all week to be able to burp the word Morty. So you're welcome, listeners.
That's why they listen.
Yeah, that's why.
They come here for the burps.
See what? If I have a big enough burp stored up, I just recite the vowels.
Yeah.
A-E-I-O-U.
Morty. Excuse me. See, that way you don't have to say it after because I just did it. Anyway, I'm feeling particularly fucked because as we know, the new Pokemon game was announced.
Oh man,
for the Switch.
Yeah.
Don't tell me there's something bad about
No,
Pokemon.
no, the new game looks incredible. It's going to. Let me talk about the really good stuff here. It's going to follow the Pokemon Go formula of catching things. If you've seen any gameplay footage from it, which has been out because it was like playable on the floor at E3.
Ooh, okay.
It follows the Pokemon Go format where you use the motion controls on the Switch to, or you could buy the Pokeball, which I'm going to buy.
Of course.
and you throw the ball to catch the Pokemon, just like you did in Pokemon Go. I think we all remember, Pokemon Go.
Same catch mechanic.
Same catch mechanic, and but it's Gen 1. It's Gen 1, so there's battling in it, just like in Gen 1. The only difference is you don't battle to weaken the Pokemon that you're catching. You're not walking in tall grass like you were. They're just out in the wild. You can see the Pokemon. So if you see something you like, they just like on Pokemon Go, from different times of the day, you can go up and see them walking around in the wild. Okay. So you can catch them in the wild just by seeing them without having to walk into tall grass. It's not a surprise when you see something.
Well, that's kind of interesting.
So yeah, there's no battling. There's no battling to weaken the Pokemon, but there's battling with trainers. There's battling with gyms. Mm-hmm. And I think the idea behind this is to people who aren't familiar with the Pokemon games, it's without making them do the grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's taking a lot of that grinding out. It's making it more accessible, which is a good thing. And enough people are already bitching about it because they're, I don't want to do my Pokemon game. They're doing it for a reason. Nintendo's always been all about accessibility.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get new people into Pokemon. That's all it is. And then
half the kids that are going to play this game, this is their first experience.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And that's the point. And older people too. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of folks who are in their 40s who bought a Switch. Just like there were a lot of folks in their 40s and elderly who bought the Wii when it came out.
Yeah, right.
For that reason, it was accessible. It was designed to do that.
Right. It was definitely the old people friendliest console of all time.
And people are bitching, and this is not why we're fucked. People are bitching about it. But we all know when Gen 8 rolls out next year, that Pokemon game is going to be exactly what everybody wants, and so on and so forth.
Sure.
I am particularly fucked myself because this new game is going to work in coordination with Pokemon Go. From what I understand, you're going to be able to trade your Pokemon from Pokemon Go from Gen 1 into the new Pokemon game, which is great. Except it means I have to start playing Pokemon Go again.
Which by itself is not good.
Yeah, it's better. I mean, it's certainly better than when you played it. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's gym badges.
I've been playing it again.
You started playing it again?
So they made me. They made me play it again, and the people at work love it. So I picked it up again. It's better.
Trading is going to get introduced this week in an update. We're going to be able to trade with each other now.
Oh, all
yeah,
right.
Which is cool. But here's the thing, it's a good time waster. But I'm traveling around to hit Pokestops. I'm hitting all the gyms. You know what I mean? It's now an ordeal. It's becoming a thing. Do you know what I mean? Where it's one of those fast cash games where if you want more stuff, you got to put real world money into it. I will tell you this: they did add a mechanic where the longer you have your Pokemon in a gym, it'll give you coins to buy things in the shop, which is great because I've been going around and battling at the gyms and I've been getting free money basically to purchase in the shop. But of course I'm gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went into it. My Pokemon Go. I went nuts here, man.
You about to load it up right now?
Yeah, I mean, So my fiance is at level 22. A little bit ahead of me.
Now I need to see.
She had been playing for a little bit. In 2 weeks and 2 days, I am at her level, just a little bit behind her, and I am. My team is fucking jacked.
I want to think this is cool. I desperately want to like
It's cool. It's definitely cool. It's also a cash grab thing.
Sure.
But
it just drives me bananas. It's especially it's a game you can't play in your home that from the outset is frustrating to me.
It's a game you can't play in your home.
Right.
I can play in my home because they show up at my home.
Well, they never show up here.
They right. That's because there's no stops around you. I'm right next to a couple stops and a gym.
And I think probably a lot of people can't play it from their home.
Exactly.
I'm not a fan of any game I can't comfortably play in my underwear with all the lights off.
Right. Right.
I agree.
But like, if you look at my team here, like I went nuts, man. I got a bunch of the ones that are really hard to get because you have to have special items to evolve them. So I got a slow king. I got a kingdra.
Nice.
I have 4 cloisters because that was a challenge. I have a polyrath. All my Pokemon are buff. I just caught an Articuno last night.
Nice. I got one of those.
Yeah, I'm going nuts here, man. I'm going fucking crazy playing this game. But the thing is, I've already put money into it, and it's just like every other, pay to play game on mobile. Of which there are a lot of them that are very good. Fire Emblem, the Fire Emblem game on mobile. My boss, I'm going to name drop him here. My boss sunk a lot of money into that game.
What do you mean by a lot?
So
Maybe we don't want to know.
So
am I going to be mad?
There's millions of people playing the Fire Emblem game online in the US and the UK and Japan.
Yeah.
My boss was in the top 5 in the world.
No.
Okay.
And the only way that you get that far is, reasonably by dumping money into it.
How much did he spend, Chris? Chris, how much
I
did
don't
he
want.
spend,
There's people who I work with who listen to this show.
Okay, so you're not.
So
gonna
I'm not gonna name a specific
Okay.
number, but I will. I'll
maybe
tell
you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't say anything at all.
You're
You're going to tell me off mic, though, right?
I'll tell you off mic. It was
just
a
tell us off mic.
significant amount of money. It was like an amount. I'm going to tell you guys off
Here,
mic.
do me a favor. Write it down. Just write it down. Just write it down right there.
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
look at it. I'm not going to say this.
Yeah, let me
You're going to drop your jaw when you see it.
let me get a look at this.
No.
Wait,
No.
wait, let me see. Okay, that's not as bad as I was worried.
No.
It could have been worse.
Could have been worse.
been worse.
That's a lot of money.
Could have been better too.
This is a mobile game we're talking about.
I know.
Now, here's the advantage. I believe he sold his account for more than that.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe he ended up selling his account when he
Actually
was
managed
done
to
playing the
flip
game.
his account.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't really know how much money I put into World of Warcraft when I was still playing it. But when I met you guys, I was still playing World of Warcraft. I was still like the highest HP tank in my guild. We had been doing Ice Crown 25 runs for a while, and I can remember sinking so much time, not even for like the return of like competing and getting onto a leaderboard or whatever, but for the return of farming enough fucking herbs to make enough fucking elixirs, first for my guild to use in raids, and then for me to sell or trade for other craftable items like gems and special cold resistant armor for Nax 25. And it's like I can't even remember what the whole end game of it was.
Right. There isn't one.
You quest to get more powerful gear so that you can beat bosses that give you even more powerful gear.
Sure.
Right, but then you need, of course, more powerful gear for the next more powerful boss.
Sure. And then you're at the top of the heap. You got the most powerful gear, and then X Pack drops.
Yeah.
And then you got to do it all again.
Is everything feudal?
Yeah.
Nah.
Is everything
so
we
here's
do,
the thing,
Is
like-
everything we do just wasting time
there's-
till we die?
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah. But there's a big there was recently a big content update for Rainbow Six Siege, and I realized that like no matter how much time I put into that game, winning a match, which doesn't take any longer than 15 to 20 minutes, is always satisfying.
Yeah.
And if I lose, I still get something out of it.
Sure.
I still get renown, or I've completed a daily challenge, like play 3 matches as an attacker.
Yeah.
Something real fucking easy that just gives me free in-game money.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We were talking earlier about Halo. We were watching some of the old cutscenes for the Halo games. When Halo 3 was out, I played a lot of SWAT, which was if you never were into Halo at all, SWAT was no shields, battle rifles, and pistols, no grenades. So it was all headshots. The name of the game was headshots. You have to be fast enough to aim and hit people in the head before they aim and hit you in the head.
Right.
Yeah.
I was rank 47 or 48 in SWAT
No shit.
before I stopped playing.
No shit.
My goal was to get 50 was the highest rank that you could get in SWAT.
Oh, I don't know what I thought you meant. I think you meant like number 48 in the world or something.
Oh, no. No, I will tell you, when NCAA 07 came out, when
Oh, that's right. They had like a little like ranking mechanic.
yeah, 50 was general. And if you got to,
Right,
my goal
that's
was to
right.
get to general and then just stop, because like that's like the thing is, once you got past level 45, rank 45, if you lost one match, you would plummet. I mean, like you would
Yeah.
go down 4 ranks if you lost one match. So I got up to 48. It was as high as I got. And I remember thinking to myself, I played for hundreds of hours, Halo 3. I remember thinking like, I can't, I can't do this to myself. I can't keep, I had to go. I'm like, let me just pick something else, because I couldn't do it.
It's brutal.
I will tell you, I was top 100 in the nation when NCAA 07 came out.
Yeah.
It was that summer in, before school started back up, and online was big on Xbox Live for the 360.
Right.
I was in the top 100. I was in the 70s. I had a record of at the time it was like 111 and 8 games online.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was in the top 100 in the nation. That was like my crowning video game achievement. I was very good at those games. I'm still pretty good at them.
Yeah, you're still really good at them.
Yeah.
Which is why we don't play them that much
That's right.
anymore.
Yes, exactly. I was really good at that one in particular. I think I told you your favorite Chris Brady story. Actually, was
Well, which one?
I was winning
the why moment?
70 to nothing,
Yeah.
and at the last play of the game, I threw an interception that the guy returned for a touchdown, and I freaked.
And you
out.
still won that
I still
game.
won. I won 70-7. But it was like the last play of the game. He returned an interception for a touchdown, and I just smashed my controller to a million pieces and destroyed parts of my bedroom because I'm an autist.
And then literally threw your hands up to God and screamed, "Why?" Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like the most,
Like
a biblical level.
Like I broke down in a heap because I was like thinking, like, what am I doing? Like it's I won.
a
Like,
truly biblical freak out.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just, I don't know, pay to play shit, man. It's
For sure.
Mobile games in general are really bad about that. But
Yeah.
I think why I'm particularly fucked is because I knew what I was getting into when I started again.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I don't have a problem spending the money because I like Pokemon and I like Nintendo, but it's just frustrating.
Yeah, it is
And
frustrating.
then yesterday, we went out to Austintown Park to get some of the gyms and the stops. There was a raid going on that was like a level 3 raid. And we won twice in a row, and it kicked us out at 4 seconds. Like we were we were counting down the timer. It times you. There's 120 seconds to do the raid, and we were just strong enough to get the bar all the way down.
Yeah.
And at 4 seconds, it won't let you attack anymore. And we had it's like one more hit, and the big boss battle would have been done. And they booted us out twice in a row. So I was very angry. It doesn't matter. It's like
Yeah, but it's irritating. It's like anything. You drove there, you're doing well, and you feel like you got snaked out from under you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, pay to play. Pay to play.
I'm playing Fallout Shelter, and I'm finding I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
I didn't think it was going to be any. I didn't like it when it was out.
It's a time waster.
The best part about it so far is that I have a guy that came from the wasteland wearing clergy robes, and I named him King Dad, and he makes babies all day. He's got like a Pope hat on, and his whole job is to fuck.
You would really like Dwarf Fortress.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you would love Dwarf Fortress.
I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna look into that later.
Why you fucked there, buddy?
I will tell you why I'm fucked. Is that so recently I was at my dad's place doing Father's Day stuff, right? And we were talking about my brother and my sister-in-law really love Naked and Afraid.
Oh,
Okay, the show, right?
Yes, the show.
They love being naked and frightened.
Don't we all?
They take their clothes off and get scared. It's a good time.
Strip me, daddy.
It's them watching the original Grudge movie, just naked in their living room floor.
So they
Watching
really
X-Files with no lights on?
They're really into this show, and I was like talking with them, going, okay, but yeah, it's reality TV,
Right.
You know, it's like the danger is never really real, is it? I mean, it's reality TV. Like they're in the business of making you think
Right.
that something's happening that's not happening.
Clever editing tricks and
Yeah.
yada yada.
So, you know, we're talking about this, and I'm just going, I just don't think it's something that appeals to me. I sit down and watch it. I hate how much I love it.
Yeah.
I hate how much
It's
I love
interesting. Yeah. They do a really good job of making you.
it. I hate it.
Because it's one of those shows where you go, I would never do this. And then you keep watching it. Right.
Yeah, right. Well, like, I popped on an episode because they were like, you know, have you ever really watched it? And I was like, yeah, I'm certain I've seen an episode, you know, which I had. I couldn't remember much about the show. Morty. So I pop it on. It's on Hulu. There's like 3 seasons available on Hulu right now. I watched like 6 today.
Yeah.
I watched like 6 episodes today. I can't get. I don't know. I know how dumb it is.
It's dumb. Yeah. It's almost certainly dumb.
It's very dumb.
See, I've gone on this show before about Iron Chef and how much I love Iron Chef.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, the Iron Chef wins.
Yeah,
It's,
sure.
Right.
It's not like I don't know. I'm not. See, you're not watching it for.
serves.
You're not watching it because you're expecting it to be genuine. I'm not watching it believing that, like, you know, Chairman Kaga is furious that this
Yeah,
upstart
I know,
dares
right?
challenge his Iron Chef.
Oh, my God. But what a great show.
But it's
what
it's
a great show.
It's the
Amazing.
theatrics of it all. It's the spectacle of the whole thing.
Yeah, it really is.
It's sometimes you just need a spectacle. You just need something to watch and turn your brain off and just be like, you know, I know this is fake. I know all the tricks they're doing for it, but
Yeah.
it's something to stimulate my brain while I do other things. You
Well,
know?
squeeze on.
Yes,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
What?
Take it.
Say it.
Go.
What?
Oh, this could be some kind of bean sauce. I'm really not sure.
Yes, we'll see later in the second.
Yes.
Oh,
Squeeze
well, bean sauce, Doc says. We'll come back to that.
In the pan, the challenger has fresh chili paste, cream, leeks,
Human semen.
and human semen. Ooh, human semen, you say? Wonder where he got that.
Well, this is Japan. All right. But yeah, no, that's the reason I feel fucked is just that, like, I cannot believe how much I know all the moves.
It's stupid, yeah.
I know all the moves. You watch enough reality TV,
You know it, yeah.
You know the moves. They have like this very familiar format.
Yeah.
They interject fake drama. They create fake struggle. There's a moment where someone cries and the music cues you to feel emotional because
can't say.
yeah, like a half second before the music changes.
They
so
introduce
you know,
some harsh minor strings when
Yeah.
they want you to hate someone and what they're doing.
They do a cut right before the commercial where it looks like something's gonna happen that totally doesn't happen.
right.
You know what? You know who really fucking pisses me off with that is those fucking Storage Wars shows.
Oh, really?
Every
Were they
time,
getting ready to open the lid?
every time they cut to commercial, they're like, oh well, you got an old bicycle here. That's good for like $50. We got like these dressers.
What
Oh, wait,
is
what the
this?
hell is this? It cut to commercial.
Yeah.
I hate that.
And then
I
you
know
come
it's
back and
coming
it's-
every time, and I hate it.
And you come back and it's either nothing
Yeah.
or maybe it's interesting, but it's just like a device. It doesn't really,
Yeah.
you know, it's
And-
there to keep you watching.
And also, if Daryl from the original series is any indication, the producers plant shit there.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
That's the thing is that's what it bothers me because I know how phony this shit is. But it clearly actually stresses these people out.
Yeah, sure.
And they're naked and they're afraid. They're both naked and afraid of this, I can assure you.
Well, all right.
It's I don't know, it drives me nuts. I know the beats, but I still love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, you just need a spectacle sometimes, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Even if you see past the smoke and mirrors, just being there for the spectacle is fine. I think all three of us are the kind of people who, if we go to a magic show and we see exactly how the magician is doing his trick, we're not gonna blurt out, "Hey, he's got a fucking
Yes.
mirror behind there."
Because that would make you an asshole.
Right.
Right.
But later I will privately off to the side be like, that was bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't ruin it for like the 5-year-olds in the crowd who are actually there for the magic
I
show.
actually had that experience when I went to the Ripley's Museum in Austin, and I went with Joe, and we were sitting watching this guy do a thing where he hands out a paper and writes something significant on it, and then he supposedly sets it on fire, and then he tells you what you wrote anyway, but there's a swap involved and all that. And I'm sitting next to Joe, who keeps looking at me like, do you see what he did? Do you see what he did? And I'm like, no, I didn't. But
God.
for God's sake, don't start talking about it.
Oh, there's an episode of the IT Crowd where Roy's boss, who is the son of the original boss, who ends up jumping out of a window. one of my favorite internet gifs ever. One of those abandoned thread gifts. He just calmly gets up, walks over to the window, opens it, and steps out. But anyway, his son takes over the company, and Roy is watching a movie with this guy, and the whole time he's like, she's dead the entire time. No, wait. She's in a dream the entire time. No, wait. She's actually the killer. No, wait. It just keeps... The whole movie is just trying to guess the spoiler before it occurs. And Roy's just there like, fuck. It's like that. Sometimes you just gotta let the spectacle roll and
right.
Just
experience things.
Yeah.
I've been unashamed about my love of the original run of 16 and Pregnant when it was on MTV.
Yes, you have told us.
I was fucking hooked to that show.
It's such good junk food.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was just great.
Yeah.
Like I had my favorite dads. I had my favorite moms.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like I was fucking hooked.
Well, it's funny because when someone asks you like, hey, I got some free time, what should I be watching on Netflix? Your answers are going to be things like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Trailer Park Boys.
Trailer Park Boys.
One of the recommendations that I'm going to be making later.
Something like that. But you never think of these shows, and on some level, aren't they like exactly as entertaining, even if they're clearly worse?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I suppose so.
Sure.
They're a different kind of entertaining.
Yeah, it's for different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
To the producer's credit, they go to great lengths to establish storylines and characters that the viewers can get behind. And so when something good happens to a character you like, you're all excited, and you can talk about it at the water cooler the next day at work.
Yeah. It's sort of like the difference between street smarts and book smarts, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, it's you know what I mean. It's good for two different reasons.
Yeah, there's like high art, and then there's just fun.
Yeah.
Wow,
what's the show with those four dudes?
the Four Dudes Show.
Impractical Jokers.
Yeah. Oh, the Four Dudes
Four
Show.
Dudes Show. Yes. Our sister podcast.
With Donald,
Bernie, and Crumb.
Christoph.
Oh, and also Todd.
Yeah, Todd. Right.
Donald, Bernie, Crumb, and Todd.
Todd from Breaking Bad. It's just Todd from Bernie Sanders. Todd from Breaking Bad, the guy who played Victor Crumb in the Harry Potter movies, and Donald Trump.
Bernie Sanders on Impractical Jokers, that would be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Before I sell you this bag of chips, I need to just smell you a little bit.
I would let Bernie Sanders smell me.
Oh yeah,
I would let him.
Give me a big sniff.
Yeah, just give me a whiff.
I don't mind. Not that weird.
Anyway,
I think it's about time we took ourselves a little break, boys.
Yes.
We're running long, but you know what?
yeah, we haven't been around in a while.
Yes,
So
we're kind of stretching our legs back into this podcast thing. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, when we come back, we're going to have an all-new edition of Reality or Bullshit.
yay!
Let's see if Ham and Drog can successfully sniff out.
Will the boys sniff out the truth from the lie, or will they be fooled once again and duped?
How them Duke boys going to get out of this one? We'll find out when we come back after this.
All right.
hey guys, you've been listening to and enjoying the Three Dude Cast.
We hope you've been enjoying it anyway, but if you have, mash that like button.
Yeah, smash that fucking like button.
It looks like a heart on SoundCloud, I think.
I think
Something
so.
like that.
And if you really want to hear more of our stuff,
You can subscribe to us.
Yeah, or rate and review us on iTunes and Google Play.
And we're everywhere. SoundCloud, everywhere.
we're always with you.
Always.
And welcome back.
Hey, everybody.
This is the Three Dudes Podcast. You're tuned in, obviously, or else you wouldn't be here on SoundCloud. This is episode number 49.
Yeah, or wherever
Morty.
you find podcasts. Morty.
This is a refined podcast, a refined taste, brought to you by refined gentlemen.
Yes. Brought to you by Sick Bastard Industries.
Yes, yep. Sponsored as always by Roger Sick Bastard Industries.
Yeah.
And as such, we are attempting to intellectually thin the population with another round of reality or bullshit.
Yeah, right.
According to according to this, all Roger Sick Bastard employees who answer incorrectly will be sterilized.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Yeah. I thought it was nice for him to mix things up a little bit.
The unfortunate thing is that Sick Bastard Industries is entirely child labor.
Yes.
Right.
So really didn't even give him a chance.
Well, see, now me being the host, he wanted it to be fair, so he sterilized me automatically. So, which that's fine.
It's all right.
That's all right. So we talked a few episodes ago about nature and how cool nature is.
Yes.
Y'all know drafts?
I feel like the answer to that is kinda.
Well, giraffes, they got real long necks. Yeah, they're kind of like if you put a horse in a vice grip and just tied the other end to a big old fucking Toyota and just like put the pedal to the floor,
And its head managed not to rip off.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, horses are very elastic. This
Right.
is
They're like made out of like whatever Gumby's made out
Yeah,
of.
that's why glue
Right.
comes from horses, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
They're like real
Makes sense.
stretchy.
Reed Richards' spirit animal, as the canon dictates.
You know, they actually like grind up horses to make Stretch Armstrongs.
I believe that. Yeah. I had a Stretch Armstrong. That was my favorite thing about it.
Well, yeah. So
It
that's
smelled like a wet blanket.
that's where you have it. That's where drafts come from. That's pretty much proves evolution wrong.
Good.
Christians 1, atheists 0 over here. But so anyway,
It's a weird start.
so anyway, giraffes.
Yeah.
Sub-Saharan mammals that have long necks and eat off the leaves of very tall trees. Very, very long necks. As in fact, you may have seen them. You may have seen them fight with them. It's awesome.
Yes.
Would you believe, reality or bullshit, that giraffes and humans have the exact same number of neck bones?
What? So all right, so let's think about this for a minute because
Yeah.
I've seen giraffes battle with their heads before.
Yeah.
And their necks are very like wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Sure. Right.
Which
well, bear in mind too, nature maybe even more than a vacuum. Nature abhors a straight line.
it's true.
So it's not like even if this was reality, you wouldn't necessarily see like a giraffe's neck go all segmented and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's
right.
ligaments and shit in there.
Yeah.
A lot of muscle, an awful lot of muscle in
Yeah,
that
for
neck.
sure. Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking about just how many odd things we share with other species.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna
Like the fact that, our penises are as big as a beluga whale's.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
The same size penis is just kind of grafted onto the bottom of a beluga whale, and everyone makes fun of him all the time.
now this I'll tell you, this is actually a real fact. Compared to its body size, a barnacle has the largest penis of any animal on Earth.
Oh man, penis facts.
Yeah,
I didn't
wow.
know what I was signing up for.
Yeah.
Woo. All right. This has been 3 dudes penis facts.
But we were talking about the torso penis, the one that comes up off the top of the torso and leads to your head.
The torso penis.
Scientists call this the neck.
The neck truly is the
neck.
penis of the torso.
Yes.
This is good
would
science
agree.
right here. So yeah, the statement in question is giraffes and humans have the same number of neck bones.
I've been chewing on this one in my head here with my
is hard.
brain teeth.
Because this is one that can actually go either way.
Yeah. I'm inclined to say yes.
I am too, but I'm going to go no.
Why?
I just, it's one of those things that sounds like such a really interesting fact that I feel like somewhere in here he's trying to trip us up. So I want to say yes.
Yeah, this is really where we have to get inside your head.
I want to say yes, but I'm going to say no.
I'm going to break formula for a second here and give you a hint.
Ooh.
Really, really think about what I mean when I say neck bones.
Yeah.
What specifically is neck bones meant to mean in this?
The spine, I would think.
Well, the
The,
spine,
the
yes,
definition is really about where the neck starts, isn't it? That's got to be part of the trick. Cuz I mean like a giraffe's our neck
We don't really have any bones in our neck. Just
We got bones.
We
in
got
our
plenty
neck.
of bones in our neck.
Well, not in our neck.
No, yeah, but you know what I
at the
mean. Like
back outside of
the
our neck.
spine, the collarbone.
Well, see, what you're thinking of is the throat, but like this whole structure here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got bones in our neck.
Yeah, where does a giraffe's neck?
See, because I'm thinking if I was turned into a giraffe tomorrow, the part that was my neck is probably like translates to like halfway down the back on a person.
Yeah.
You got to go all the way to where the shoulders are. So there's a lot more neck in there than you realize.
Yeah. See, I don't know, man. I don't know.
We're really trying here. We're giving this.
I know.
Its due diligence.
This is hard. Yeah, define what constitutes a neck bone.
What even is a neck?
I mean, well, the neck bone's connected to the shoulder bone.
Right.
The shoulder bone's connected to the arm bone.
The arm bone.
The singular arm bone.
The one arm, yeah.
With the door hinge on the halfway down that makes it mobile.
The arm bone is connected to the hot pocket.
The hot pocket is inevitably connected to the anus.
Inevitably. Unavoidably connected to the anus.
Well, let's have a final answer here.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say
yes.
no.
I'm gonna stick with my
We have
inclination.
one vote for reality and one for bullshit.
Yes. I think I have a bad record on these.
We don't have.
It is reality.
Oh, good call.
Now to clarify a little bit.
Yes, there has to be there's a trick in here.
This is something I got off of Reddit. There's no trick. Rye Guy, the science guy, commented on this post on Reddit and said,
Bill Nye the ham on rye.
Right. He says, this is one of those things that sounds like a weird coincidence until you learn that all mammals have 7 cervical vertebrae.
Oh. Oh yeah, C1 through C7. Yeah, right. Okay.
All mammals have 7 cervical vertebrae. The only exceptions are sloths and manatees.
Really?
Who have
Sloths have none. They just have a stupid
who
head
have
that's
who have
grounded stuck onto
a
their
different
body.
number.
who have a different number.
He doesn't say, but all mammals except for sloths and manatees have 7 cervical vertebrae connecting the
Oh fuck.
this area, the
Yeah,
collarbone,
C1 through C7. I should have
shoulder
thought
area
about that.
up to the base of the skull.
That does C1 through C7 does sound familiar to me.
And
Probably.
Dwight is winning.
See what, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Now, structurally and perhaps also lengthwise, these bones probably look a bit different. But
Yes.
giraffes and humans share the same number of neck bones. There's the same number of cervical vertebrae.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I did not realize like every mammal with those 2 exceptions.
I didn't either until I found this fact.
Yeah. You have 7 bones in your cervix.
And Rye Guy, the science guy, clarified it.
That's right. 7 cervix bones.
that all expand wide enough to fit a human head. That's
Biology. We know things.
7 cervix bones.
I know my cervix.
More
is-
if she a real sloot.
I think I've ever heard anyone say snoot.
Snoot.
Oh my god, that's funny. But that's a good one, Ben.
That is our reality
good one.
bullshit.
That's a good one.
I'm having trouble coming up with these. I'm gonna start spending like some time during the week just thinking like, all right, what can I come up with that that is real that sounds like bullshit or is bullshit that sounds real.
Yeah.
Morty.
But I will definitely attempt to find some.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's a good.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
No one knows what that is.
We know what that is.
well, with that out of the way, we do, or you guys do when you play this game. You I know you guys kind of reason your way through it and whatever, but there's a certain element of chance that I try to keep preserved.
Yeah.
In this game, I try not to play word games. I try to be as direct as possible with the
Right.
with the question. But that's part of what makes it thrilling, isn't it? Is the chance.
I think so. Yeah.
Is the chance of it all, the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
And that's why today's episode is about gambling.
Yeah. Oh, good
All
choice.
right.
Our adventures in it. So, any tricks? If you guys know any tricks for gambling,
You guys know how to win at gambling?
and perhaps even the nature of luck itself. Luck is a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It tends to work in some ways rather than others. It almost does seem like it's a force intrinsic to the universe. And we've even got mathematical studies and an entire field of mathematics, the study of probability, devoted to analyzing luck in a quantitative way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought we'd talk about gambling, about luck, about chance.
This is a great idea. I don't know how we keep having new topics.
I know, right?
Because sometimes it seems like we're just like it feels somehow like we've talked about everything.
Yeah, I know,
so
right?
stupid.
Which is
Yeah.
stupid.
Well, that obviously makes us the smartest men on earth.
Naturally,
Right.
no argument here.
But I wanted to start actually with Chris recounting your story about how men will bet on anything.
That's true. Yeah, men will in fact bet on anything.
I don't know if I remember what this is.
I have two examples of this actually involving the same person.
I'm thinking of the
Yeah,
curling
exactly.
story.
Right. Yeah. Involving the same person, Ronnie. The first one is the curling story. We were going to go out golfing one day. We were in high school at the time, and it was whenever the Winter Olympics. What year was that? I don't know.
the last Winter Olympics?
No. This was ages ago.
Oh, in maybe 2002 if you were in high school.
No. It would have been it would have been 06 or 07.
06. Okay.
Yeah, so sometime around then.
right.
And I went over to his house.
Well, it wouldn't have been 07.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Even numbered years.
Yeah, it would have been 06 or 08 maybe. I went over there for golfing, and I had my clubs, and he was sitting on his couch watching curling, which I understand still to this day very little about. I don't know.
Oh, it's a fairly
yeah. I mean, like
straightforward.
I get like the basics now, but
it's bocce on ice.
It's you're right. It is. It's bocce on ice. Yeah, it's the best way to think of it. But he was sitting there watching curling, and neither of us understood really anything about curling at the time. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm watching curling. It was Finland and Canada." I'm like, what the hell is curling? And he's like, I have no idea. He's like, you want to watch it with me?
It's okay. They don't either.
Right. And we're sitting there, and we're like sitting there, watching the game or the match or whatever you call a curling, competition.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A bout of curling.
A
A spontaneous curling incident.
A murder of curlers.
But we're watching, and he's sitting there, and he's like, somebody did something that was apparently good for Finland, and he's like, oh man, Finland's gonna win. And I'm like, nah man, that's bullshit, Canada's gonna win. And he's like, no, what are you talking about? They just did this thing here. And I'm like, no, Canada invented curling, I think.
I think.
And we ended up like idiots. Like there's rounds in curling.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, man. I said, because Canada was coming right back up, and I said, nah, man. I'll bet you next round they're gonna score more points. Like I got $10 that says they're gonna do that. And he's like, all right, I'll take that. And we took the money out, and we put it on the table, and then we just started screaming at the TV like idiots. And we watched the entire match, which Finland did win.
Yeah.
As I recall, I did not win the end of it. But I remember at one point where Canada's making their throw, you know what I mean? They're letting the stone go down.
Yeah.
And you could hear the competitors going. And I remember my friend Ronnie, he bumped one of the Finnish stones off to a different spot, and I went, they went, yeah, and I went, yeah, and he went, oh, come on, and he's screaming at the television.
Yeah, it was a dude who didn't know what curling was.
We had no idea.
20 minutes before,
no idea what the rules were.
Yeah, but when one of your guys' stones gets knocked off, that's no
not
good.
good.
It's not in the field of play
I
anymore.
lost $30 just sitting there watching TV.
That's the thing about gambling on stuff.
Right.
It just
doesn't matter.
Makes it interesting.
There was also a time where we
the let's make it interesting is not just a figure of speech.
No,
It's,
you have a stake in something.
right.
Now.
Yeah, you put a personal stake in something that's remote.
Exactly.
And that's fun.
Yeah.
It's sometimes fun.
Yes, right. Yeah, and when you're winning, it's a blast.
Yeah.
But there was another time we had like a kid's toy that would do like a random thing. It was like it wasn't like one of those spinners. It was like a digital one where it would do a random, like it would rotate around and do random shapes.
Okay.
And it would be like squares are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we would in high school we're throwing down money betting on what shape it's gonna come up at, because it was random. Sometimes it would do 3 in a row and it would throw you off. And
Sit there betting on a fucking speak and spell.
yeah, right.
Like what fucking animal is it gonna land on?
Right. The one where you
Cow.
pull the crank and it goes,
Come on, chicken!
chicken. Here, chicken. You know, this reminds me of, I wonder if this existed, because this is like a thing that is so weird. I don't know if it exists everywhere, but it's that festival game where they put a rat in the middle of that. You know what I'm talking
yeah.
about? It's like a big square booth.
Yeah.
Everyone stands around
We
the booth.
put the quarters
They
down.
put quarters
Yeah,
down
on
around the
color.
outside.
Yeah.
And you see when they put the rat up the tube in
God,
the middle,
I fucking love that
which
game.
way he goes.
God, I love that game.
Oh
Have you seen this, Ben?
no, I don't know
It's
what
like
the fuck you're
every-
talking
every-
about.
church
Fat
festival.
Albert's rat game. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Every
my
church
God.
festival has to have one of these. It's like I said, it's just a square. It's got all these segments around the outside, like a roulette wheel. You put your coins down where you think he's going, and if he goes into the pocket right underneath that, you win.
You win.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And there's like 25 different color options that he can land on.
Yeah.
And they're all
That-
stacked up around the board.
That sounds so wonderful.
I've dumped hundreds of dollars into that. Hundreds of dollars.
It's a great game.
So much fun.
Speaking of festival games, how about I mean, you guys know me. I don't really bet. I don't really gamble.
Yeah, me
at all.
either.
But every time the Canfield Fair rolls around, fucking Mr. Lucky's.
Oh, yeah.
Where you give them a $5 bill and you get like 100 nickels. You get just a cup full of nickels.
Yeah.
And you gotta throw the nickels onto the waxed up board, and
Yeah.
if it lands completely in one of the red circles, you get a prize.
Yep.
Oh.
It's just a bunch of people standing around this fucking waxed up wood board. Like, it's a festival tent, so it's walled off.
Yeah.
So you gotta like lean just a little bit over the thing, and it's just a bunch of people chucking nickels onto a board.
Yeah.
My
And it is the best game at that fucking fair.
Oh, yeah. My father's really good at that.
It's the best,
yeah?
and
Really
it's the
good at that.
fairest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is.
Sure.
It is the absolute most fair game there.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like
It's almost pure chance.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you can have the skill to hit the target, but is whether it stays there is chance.
Right. Yeah, and people will be chucking them different ways. They'll throw them like a discus, like kind of keeping the flat end parallel to the ground. Some will just like flick it on there like that. Some will just like haphazardly toss it on there, and it you really can't tell because there's other nickels flying through the air. Sometimes they'll hit in midair. Sometimes you'll hit other nickels.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Like just thinking about it, and this is like the ultimate Ohio thing. It's a bunch of fucking Ohioans standing around there,
Standing around throwing
Bunch
nickels.
of corn-eating doofuses
throwing nickels
tossing
on a piece of
nickels.
wood.
blast.
literally throwing their fucking money away.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you can
That's
play.
all
You can
gambling.
play for $1 at a time. If you happen to have like 2 nickels in your pocket, you can just walk right up and toss the nickels onto the board. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's pure fun. It's just great fun.
Yeah.
This is the thing where I wish I did more of this stuff. But I have this thing in my head where it's like, you're not gonna win. What are you doing? You always get disappointed.
Yeah,
Don't
but
do
that's
this.
here's the trick with gambling is you go into it expecting to lose everything that you go in with a set amount of money
Yeah.
and you expect to lose it. You say,
Yeah.
this is what I have to lose, and if I lose it, it's okay.
Right.
Then I stop.
You'd be prepared to
That's
lose
the
it.
trick, right? And
Yeah.
The problem is that's very hard to do.
Yeah.
You can't go to the ATM.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, and this is only I think recently become more of a recognized thing. You can totally get addicted to things that aren't chemically based. I mean, that's something that's been known for a long time, but
It is known.
but gambling is one of those things where it's like
But it is the chemical. It's your
it's
brain.
well, it's dopamine. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're counting dopamine, but I mean like.
Yeah, right.
The
Behaviors.
the behavior of it. There are some people who, like me, I get addicted to very, very specific things. I've gambled before. I've never felt the urge to like do more than what I could afford to do. But when it comes to fucking, I'll go on for a week and just like dive into like fucking I'll just be in my room playing fucking Doom for a week, or just downloading every possible mod for the original Half-Life. I'll get addicted to weird things for very brief periods of time.
Yeah.
But then there's people like, I got an uncle I never met who shot himself because he lost all his money to gambling.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane to me.
Yeah.
On a weirdly lighter note,
Yeah.
did you see the Onion article this week? Or no, it was Clickhole. It was an article that said, heartwarming. This dad refuses to leave the casino until he wins his daughter's tuition back.
Oh my god. Oh. And it's too real, man.
It's too
real.
fucking real.
This shit happens.
Let me tell you, like, my dad used to take care of the high rollers at the casino that he worked at.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember he told me the guy Josh was the guy who was like training him, and he said the first and most important rule that you need to know when you come into this job is that you're dealing with degenerate gamblers.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, he's like, I come on, I go out and gamble sometimes. Everybody has done it at some point. And he's like, trust me.
Yeah.
You're dealing with degenerate gamblers.
Yeah, like you don't know yet.
Yeah, you don't understand.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like he said, it was one of those things where you learn quick, where people will come. He's the caretaker, so they'll come to him.
Right.
Like I just need some kind of free play money. I lost my rent money this week, or what I mean. I can't make my mortgage payment, or people burning through thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
In a day at the slots.
I've read horror stories on the internet. I've read people just sitting at the table and pissing themselves because they don't want to get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
The story of the woman who was in the casino at 2 a.m. and the staff found that she had brought her kids with her, and they were waiting by the door for her to and they had been there for hours and they were fucking hungry.
Yeah.
It's like the thing is, I don't fault those people because I really do believe it's something that they have.
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's not
Right.
it's not a sin. It's not a shortcoming of theirs.
But it's
it's
so
an actual.
sad.
They need help. Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
Well, on a lighter note, what's the most you ever won? Let's get into the good shit.
$97.
The day I turned 21, my dad and my stepmom took me to the Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh, which if you've never been to is a very good casino. A lot of fun. I won $600. I came in with I came in with like $250 to spend. I walked out with almost $900, something like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah,
What'd you play? How'd you win it?
a lot of slots. Little bit of blackjack. The older I get, the more I like sitting at the blackjack table and playing. But the problem is,
Sure.
it's expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and the thing with blackjack is, if you have a couple $100 and you know how to bet, you can sit at a blackjack table for hours and play and break even. You
Well,
know
that's
what I mean?
that's the thing. Blackjack is fast.
Blackjack is fast.
Blackjack is a very fast game, so they gotta up that
Right.
table price.
But
to
if you play the
justify it.
you play the betting odds, especially if you're at a lower end table, like a $5 table or a $10 table, the dealers will help you. The dealers will help you along because they don't need your money. They're after the people who are betting $100 a hand,
Right.
Who don't need, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who don't want your input.
I watched a friend sit down at the blackjack table, $25 dollars in, and it was like 4 minutes later,
it's gone,
and it was gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you have the stomach to do this?
Yeah, there's no way. That's why there's free online poker. There's apps that let you play poker for fake money, and I like doing that.
Yeah.
But even there, it's just like fuck. This dude raised like 3 times what's in the pot.
Yeah,
Like,
those-
how
those
can
aren't-
can I justify doing this even though my hand is awesome?
Those aren't real poker players.
No,
Those guys
no.
who
They got nothing to lose. Of course,
Right.
they're gonna raise.
Yeah, sure.
But I think the only time I've been in a casino between age 21 and 26 was I'm actually pretty sure it was for my 21st birthday. Well, maybe a little after my 21st birthday. I went with my mom, my stepdad, and my brother, who wasn't able to gamble at the time. So I think my stepdad just put money down for him, to Mountaineer, where we bet on the horses for a little bit.
Oh God, we should go play the ponies.
And that
God, would I love to do that.
that was the most, because it's one of like maybe 3 times in my life I've ever bet in a casino.
Yeah.
And I came out $20 ahead.
Yeah.
I bet on this one to place in whatever it is. I forget all the lingo, but where you bet on them to place in any of the top 3 positions.
Yeah, win, place, or show.
Win, place, or show for this one horse that, like, I was looking through. I'm like, okay, this one has won in the past, but hasn't in a while, and he's probably due.
Yeah.
So I bet on that and came out like $20 ahead.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy with that. I cashed out. I was like, that's good.
That's the way I gamble is always extremely low stakes.
Yeah.
And I think the only time I ever actually won anything of note was up in Cleveland. I was playing cheap slots. I walked in with $20. That was literally $20. That was my budget.
Yeah.
$20.
Which will
That's fine.
It'll last you a bit in slots for sure.
Right. Well, I ended up at one point up over 100.
Yeah.
And I tapped out around like low 90s.
Yeah, right, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
That's right. That's par for the
test it a
course.
little bit more to see if you get
exactly.
anything else,
That's what
and then
you
if
do.
you don't, then you just
And the thing is, I felt bad because there was a woman sitting next to me who was watching me win, and she's eating shit. And then
Yeah.
she says to my friends who are behind me, because I introduced myself, and she says to my friends, "You guys got to help Dave.
Yeah.
You got to help Dave." And I'm like, this woman has no idea how risk averse I am.
Yeah.
Like nobody needs to
Yeah.
help me walk away.
Yeah.
right. The
That's the trick. I mean, like
Yeah.
that's the hard part. Is
I mean,
leaving.
like, and I can see, like, you know, I think there's this classic image of tragedy in our heads where it's like old people just, you know, wasting their money on slots. But it's like, if I'm a bajillion years old and I've got, you know, $100,000 saved up, I can afford to do 20 a day on the slots. You know, I can afford to do 100 a day on the slots.
Sure.
You know, it's they're old as shit. Let them spend their money.
right, yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, there's a difference between being addicted to something and letting people have fun.
Yeah.
I will tell you, when I was in Pittsburgh
Yeah.
at Rivers, I hit the Chuckle Huck wheel. You put
what?
the Chuckle Huck wheel. The dollar bill amounts are on the board. You spin it, and there's like 2 to 1, 2 to 1, 5 to 1, 10 to 1.
Okay.
20 to 1.
And then whatever you put
40
down,
to 1. Right. And then whatever you put down on it, you
if
get.
you win, you get that ratio back.
I betting really low. It was like a dollar minimum bet.
Sure.
I hit the jackpot on a 40 to 1 on that 3 separate times in Rivers.
God.
And I'm
shit.
standing there with my dad, and he's going, "Yes!" It's like, you know, and it's for like, you know, I put $1 down and I got $41 back. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
cool.
Now was this a computerized thing?
No, this is an actual
Okay.
a guy with
Okay.
a board spinning the wheel.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed the few times I've been to Hollywood up on 46, the few times I've been there, I've noticed with the video slots, because I've been there with some of my clients. All of our clients are legal adults, so they can bring, you know, $10 or $20 to gamble if they want to.
Sure.
So one of the things I've noticed about video slots is they'll pay out a little bit really early on, and I think it's built into the programming. I think it's built into where, like, if it hasn't had a play in a while and it gets a play, it'll be like, all right, this is a new person.
Oh, certainly.
So like
Yeah, let's talk about this for a while because I'm interested in this topic.
within the first like 10 spins or so, I notice there is a very high chance of a payout. Not a very high payout, but enough to at least break even, and enough, more importantly, to keep you going.
Yes.
Right.
And from what I suspect, because you know we always with when the clients win something, we're like, okay, I had one guy go in with $20 and come out with like 150 off of like his first 10 spins on the slots. And I'm like, all right, you want to keep that.
Yeah, right.
I know everyone else is playing, but trust me, you're gonna want to keep
Here's
that.
the trick. You go in with like I'll go into a casino with $300, right? You go in with $300, and then as you're winning, you pocket the money that you win, and then you keep playing with the $300 that you have.
Sure.
Oh,
You know
there
what
you
I
go.
mean?
Yeah.
You go in, and then you say to yourself, if I lose this, then I'm out.
Right. If I completely eat shit, I have the money that I brought here. That's my baseline.
Yeah.
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 Because if you keep winning, then you're playing with their money.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And why not keep playing with their money?
Right.
You get the worst case scenario, you can break even.
Sure. I remember, like, Dad, when we went out there for the first time, he was not doing good. I had to go find him. I was up several $100s like halfway through the day, and I still wasn't done. But I went to go find him, and I found him in like the lowest corner of sitting back in the smoker section, pulling the slots the old fashioned,
Yeah.
And I'm like, "How you doing?" And he's like, I'm not." He's like, he already lost a couple $100.
Right.
He's like, I'm not. And I'm like, well, here, I'll tell you what. Let me go buy you a beer. And we went and sit up at the bar, and this was before Yuengling was widely available in Ohio. You had to be in Pennsylvania to get it.
I remember when that came over here, people were lining up outside the liquor stores to get it.
Yeah, it's good beer.
I remember before, I remember one time I was at a party with some friends from work when I worked at the library. Someone went and drove all the way over to Pennsylvania to get Yuengling and bring it back.
Right. Yeah, it's worth it. It's good beer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we went up to the bar, and I bought him a Yuengling. I bought myself a Yuengling, and we're sitting there drinking beer. And of course, if you go to a casino, the bars have table games built in at the bar.
Oh,
so
God.
you can play at the bar. And I thought, fuck it. I put my player card in, and I was playing video poker. I won $50 sitting at the bar, drinking my beer, playing video poker. And he's like, "You son of a bitch." He's like. And then, my stepmom came up and found us, and he's like, "He's winning just sitting here." Playing video poker, But yeah, it's.
There's a thing I wonder about. You mentioned something there, the player card.
Yeah.
I have wondered this because so I think when I went to Cleveland, they didn't have a system like that.
Oh no, player card, really?
When I and this was not that long ago, so I don't know. I mean, it was. I think when I was playing the slots, I'm pretty sure
this is just like a prepaid. Your money is on that you want to play, and then you put it into whatever machine.
Correct.
You're
Yeah.
doing. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't have. They didn't have where. I think it was just that I think I just put money into a machine, and I got
a slip. You got a paper slip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you take whenever you decide to quit, you hit the button, you get a printout. You can take that to another machine.
And you put it in. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing. The player card I don't think is necessary at most casinos.
Yeah.
But if you sign up for the player card and you get on their email list, like at Rivers, when I signed up, I got $20 just for signing up for the player club that you could play with their money.
Yeah.
And then it was also my birthday that day, so I got an additional $20. So I started with $40 of free play money. And that's not money that you can, they're not giving you $40. You can't cash that out and take it with you, but you can use that to play, you know what I mean? You can use that to play the slots.
Where I wonder about it is the player card thing to me seems like a very purposeful thing on the part of the casino. They can track, they can track where you're going, what you're playing, what you're winning.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
And if there is indeed some machination that allows them to sort of pay you out a bit and then pull back, do that thing to try to hook you and then let you go.
Oh, absolutely.
The player card allows them to take that arc to every machine in the place.
And you know what it is? There are people who specialize in these things with all these numbers, where you can design a program like that to where it'll operate in that sort of thing, but then also just kind of skirt the line of legality for whatever your state's gaming commission is.
Right, and here's the thing: by federal law, those machines
it's not technically rigged.
Yeah.
Right, but it's
kind of rigged.
By federal law, those machines have to pay out. They're on algorithms where they have to They have to pay out at an even number of odds. You know what I mean? Somebody has to win a jackpot. Maybe like in the old days in old Vegas, a lot of that was really particularly rigged. They're definitely tracking you. They're definitely tracking what you like.
Yeah.
They're definitely seeing how you're winning.
Sure.
They have to pay out.
Yeah,
they that is I know there's a lot of shady shit that happens in casinos.
Yeah,
but
they have to pay out at a certain ratio. I imagine it's
correct.
they're allowed to make probably overall a certain percentage of profit over what's put into them.
If your slot machine's odds for paying out at a certain level of play, because you can put in different amounts of money for different levels of play. If your odds are I don't know, 500 to 1 that it'll pay out at a certain level, the actual physical results should look similar to that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like one person out of every 500 will get a payout or something like that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like there is definitely some kind of hocus pocus going on behind the scenes.
sure.
But on some level,
And this is where we get into like real fucking theoretical math and
Number
probability
crunchy stuff,
but like on some base level, this is the only time I'm ever going to say this. The government is on your side at some base level. They have to pay you. You have to pay out.
Right.
And if you've ever won a pretty decent sized jackpot in any of those machines,
I have not.
Really? Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing.
Now, this is why I say probably the purest form of gambling is one where you're not playing against the casino. You're playing against other people.
Yes.
Poker.
Also the most fun and the scariest.
That's much more like competition.
It is the absolute scariest.
It's more like competition than it is like gambling in a sense.
Poker, etc.
Where skill actually plays a factor.
And I mean, this is where you start thinking too about like casinos are a fairly recent invention in the span of human history, right?
Like an actual.
Yeah, like gambling's old, casinos are relatively
right.
new.
Like if we're going to, if you allow me to go on a history tangent, like the Phoenicians and the Greeks would use sheep's knuckles for dice, soldiers from I don't even know, like from the 16th century maybe onwards have always carried like packs of playing cards, to bet against other soldiers. Betting is just something. Betting and our fascination with luck and our fascination with this idea that there's some force in the universe, whether it's divine or even sentient, that can affect the outcome of when we put a financial stake into things.
Yeah.
Has been that's an idea that's thousands of years old.
We've personified probability is what happened.
We've
made it into a
lady.
Yeah, a lady.
Lady luck.
And it has agency and it decides, what's going to come out of seemingly random circumstances.
It can be karmic at times. It can just be completely arbitrary. It can just decide whoever does these certain rituals, blowing on the dice or I don't know, grabbing the ass of the drink girl or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
If luck,
a little pat on the ass.
Now to be clear, if luck is karmic, I would hope that person just loses everything. But but that's where we get.
Yeah, but you're gonna tell me
Let
Frank
it ride
Sinatra?
for daddy.
You're gonna tell me Frank Sinatra didn't grab a couple of asses at the casino back in the day?
Of course he did.
Of course he did.
All of them. Yeah.
But then we got what was I just about to say? Rituals and superstition, arise from these kind of false positives where you try something once and it works. So like, a baseball player wearing his socks on the opposite feet.
Right.
The idea of luck
Coffee.
the idea of luck as a force, a universal force as natural as gravity or electromagnetism that can be controlled by certain rituals or by certain actions that you take beforehand is something that's thousands of years old. And even though you kind of know better, you kind of know that it's all down to the how the dice strike your palm and how they fall onto the table.
Yeah.
It's real easy to get behind. It's real easy to latch onto and believe.
I know.
I have a kind of a superstition when I play Siege. In fact, when I play, I find that I'm a little easier at mind going into a match if beforehand I don't do quick play. I go through the entire menu and select the mode I want. And on the main screen of Rainbow Six Siege, it'll let you quick play the mode you were playing last time.
Oh, but you manually select it.
I go through the menu and manually select it instead of just hitting it on the title screen, because that's a superstition of mine.
Okay, now this is interesting to me. To what extent do you actually believe that versus you just kind of feel compelled?
Aren't they the same thing?
I don't know. I don't think they are. Like, to what extent do you really think that makes a difference versus you just kind of don't want to toy with something?
Well,
that maybe work.
I hate to repeat myself, but isn't that the same thing?
I guess maybe it is.
When you think about it, yeah.
Maybe it is. Yeah, maybe there's no distinction.
I was thinking like, well, no, but the more,
Yeah.
it's
No,
not
like
really, it is the same thing.
intellectually, I know it doesn't make a difference.
Well, that's what I'm driving at.
But I feel more at ease doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't really necessarily explain why.
I think that's what I'm driving at, is that even knowing better, it's just
And I think if you laid out the statistics of how many matches I win and how many matches I lose doing this versus just clicking the button on the title screen, you'll find that they're about the same. Because luck is an illusion.
yeah.
But
Isn't it amazing that's how we work?
Yeah.
You know, like we're pattern recognition machines.
absolutely, we need to believe that not only is there meaning to the chaos in the universe,
Yeah.
but that we have some level of control over it.
Yeah.
And that's where the thrill of winning comes from in gambling or in anything really. I mean, at least in something skill based, where every success is all you and every failure is all you.
Right.
But in gambling, every success in gambling is, it helps us keep. It helps us kind of maintain a view of the universe in which we are significant, in which we have some level of control. Morty, because we'd go insane otherwise.
Yeah.
The universe can't just be meaningless chaos. The universe has to have some kind of purpose, and it has to benefit us when we do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is very, very sort of like an egocentric view of the world, but it's like all we're good at.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like we are built egocentric machines.
Without ego, we don't have purpose. Without purpose, we don't have success. And without success, we feel that we've wasted our lives.
Yes.
That's just the way we're built as social creatures. We have to kind of make our mark in the world. And if we feel like we don't have agency over the things we attempt, then it's like, what's the point?
Right. Like including
Which is why I don't gamble, incidentally, because I know I don't have agency over it.
like we feel the need to have agency over things that we know objectively we can't have agency over.
Right.
It's just wild.
Yeah. Let me pose.
Agency.
Let me pose this to the group.
Welcome to the agency, agent.
I'd rather be lucky than good. I mean, I would rather
Yes.
think about
It
it.
doesn't matter why you win.
Well,
is the question.
remember Pretty Good? Remember Kudai Sung?
Yeah, right.
I mean, okay, you got to have some degree of skill holding a baseball bat to knock one to the back fence against Randy fucking Johnson.
Right.
But you've also got to be at least a little bit lucky.
Yeah.
For sure. And yeah, that's his like legendary crowning moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Think about that. I mean, if everything wasn't perfectly in place for that, it would look very different.
I can think of at least, well, I can right now, because I was talking about him earlier today with a coworker. I can think of Henrik Lundqvist, for instance, who is very, very, very good, but not very lucky.
Yeah, right.
He's not very lucky, but he's incredibly good.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing about luck is that's just so far.
Yeah.
Because the more you keep testing luck, the more things average out.
Right, exactly.
Sure.
Now, on the flip side of that, Martin Brodeur,
Yeah.
pretty good, incredibly lucky.
Morty Broder.
Morty. Very lucky. Some of the saves that Marty Brodeur made are just impossible.
Yeah.
That, there would have been.
Well, and hell, Lundqvist has made some impossible saves
true,
too.
that's
He's just
true.
never won a cup.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. There you go. Hey, that's a good one.
Yeah. This is a
done.
very gassy episode.
Yeah. Jesus
The
Christ.
fucking burpiest we have ever collectively
This
been.
is the burpest thing I've ever heard.
Quality internet content. Aren't you glad we spent like fucking 10,000 years of science and technology to arrive at this moment where you could listen to three drunkards from Ohio burp over a microphone onto the internet for all time?
Seriously, think about the number
You're
of things,
welcome.
The number of things that had to go right in history to get us to where you could hear odd burps from across the world in beautiful high fidelity.
Yep.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Man, that could be a documentary, couldn't it? Just go around the world like filming drunk people and how they burp, and like, because a Japanese burp has got to be different from a Russian burp, which is different from a French burp and an Italian burp.
Yeah.
Burps are
Different
cultural.
vocalization. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd imagine a French burp to be very, very petite.
Excuse me.
Pardon moi.
Pardon my scent. I do not mean to offend.
Monsieur, pardon-moi. For I've made a disgusting burp in your face.
This baguette that's made me expel my. I'm getting real.
Do not be offended by this disgusting burp cloud between us.
He's Swedish now.
Yeah, I don't know what
Happy Bastille Day, you motherfucker.
I'm making me own shepherd's pie. It's losing the accent.
Why the hell do accents on this show always bleed into other ones?
Oh, because we're
not good at it.
We're ignorant Americans.
Yeah.
Pardon me, guess.
Please come to my haggis farm in a beautiful Aberdeen.
So stupid.
Would you like some fresh sushi? I don't even know what accent.
Yeah, what is that?
Some fresh sushi.
fresh sushi. In a shepherd's pit.
Oh god.
Anyway, where
So
the hell
anywho.
were we?
We were talking about how luck is a force in the universe that, at least as most humans interpret it, and like most things that we consider to be immutable universal forces, we've tried to mathematically quantify luck
Yeah.
in the science of probability, in the study of at which. I mean, you know, coming right back around. I'm sure that gets used with casino employees. I'm sure there's people that casinos contract out to, even maybe, you know, mathematicians who are like, okay, well, here's how this works and what have you. That's mathematician speak for various probability related.
Here's how this works.
Here's how this works.
Here's how this shit works. You see all these numbers? They all equate to this number. And this is the number you need to worry about. This number, you put at this table, and then that table will get you this money.
Yeah.
That's math.
You know what fascinates me?
That's math.
Is that obviously, like we're talking about here, you know, like a lot of this stuff boils down to some really natural principles. So, like, luck isn't really luck. It's the angle of the die, the weight of the die, the angle of collision.
Sure.
You know, all the height of the leap and all of that stuff. And it's like, while we know that, we still really, like, it would be impossible to like calculate the likelihood of that somewhat random action of rolling a die.
It's impossible. I think unless we get a supercomputer that can analyze every fucking nanosecond of motion,
Yeah.
it would be able to call the roll before it even lands on the table.
Yeah.
Every particle felt on the table that could possibly affect movement.
It's just funny how interesting or how easy it is to quantify what happens after the fact, but rarely in the moment.
Think about every blowout poker win you've ever seen, and then think about the fact that it's not necessarily luck. The cards were always in that order. The cards have been in that order in the deck from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not so much a matter of luck, at least not in poker. It's a matter of your confidence in how the cards are arranged.
Yeah.
And I would like to remind you that the number of ways to arrange a deck of cards are greater than the number of atoms on Earth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, to arrange a single 52
A single
Card
52 card deck. There are more ways to arrange that single deck than there are atoms on the planet.
That's permutations, son.
Yeah.
Same with
and that's insane. You're betting on your confidence that the deck is going that the way the cards are arranged at that moment in the deck, that they're going to favor you ultimately.
Ridiculous.
Isn't that crazy? So it has nothing to do with luck. It has to do with you saying fate is going to favor me, because it is fate. It is, you know, the arrangement of cards is predetermined as the hand is being dealt.
Yeah.
All the other cards that are going to come down on the flop, the turn, and the river, those are all pre-decided. The order of the deck doesn't change just because, like, you suddenly get that third queen on the table.
Sure. Yeah, right.
And meanwhile, the other guy's got, you know, a full house.
Yeah.
Now think about this. At most casinos, at least most Vegas casinos, the high-end ones are running 8-deck shoots. So
Right.
if you're playing blackjack, you cannot. It's mathematically impossible for one
So
human.
it's 52 times 8.
Right. It's
Because now
math-
I want to do this as a exercise so that's 16.
most Vegas. It's at
400
least 6. Most of the big ones are 8 decks. Smaller casinos like Pittsburgh and then the one in Cleveland, those are probably 4.
So that's 416 factorial would be the number of possible combinations.
For an 8-deck
Yes.
thing.
That's stupefying. I shudder to think how large that number that is.
Now, I just Googled it for a single deck. There are... I don't even know that a name exists for this number. But it is an 8 followed by 67 zeros.
67?
67 zeros.
Wow.
8 times 10 to the 67th.
Jolting for that fix in that Limp Bizkit mix. Sorry. It's just
8 times 10 to the 67th ways to arrange a deck of 52 cards. Here's the actual number for visual representation.
That's disgusting.
wow.
Yeah. That's
So then again,
insane.
now imagine that's for 52 factorial. So what's 416 factorial? I bet you couldn't display all the
can't
zeros
even-
on
you
your
can't
screen at
even do
once.
it. Right.
416, and then that's followed by an exclamation point, right?
That's right.
416 factorial. North American area code 516 is a telephone area code in the state of New York. 516 or
416?
416.
Yeah.
I am sorry. 416. Let's see. 416 factorial. It's talking about fires. The year 416 is a leap year starting on Saturday of the Julian calendar.
Wow, we are so good at this.
Yeah, so
Okay, let me just type in 46 factorial.
416.
416. I'm sorry, factorial.
Focus, boys.
okay. So let me while you're doing that, let me because this goes in the same vein.
Okay.
I was looking at possible chess positions because it's the same story with chess moves.
Sure.
Yeah.
Almost more so. After the number of possible chess positions after White's first move is 20. So there's 20 possible
Sure.
opening variants for White.
Yeah.
After Black plays his second move, that number goes up to 400. There's 400 possible chess positions
After essentially 4 moves.
after move 1. White makes one move, Black makes another move.
Oh, okay.
There's 400 possible positions that there can be just from that.
Yeah.
After the second round of that, it goes up to from 400 to 8,902. After the third one, it's 742.
My God.
So it just goes on exponentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So 400,
insane.
416 factorial. This is the number.
oh my God.
Now, for those of you math geeks listening at home,
It's a lot.
the number of digits in 416 factorial is 911 digits.
Never forget.
Wow.
The number of trailing zeros in 416 factorial is 102. So even apart from the total number of digits, even just its trailing zeros is greater than that of a single deck of cards. 52 factorial, right? Yeah, 52 factorial, which has 67 zeros. 416 factorial is 102 trailing zeros, which are 102 of 911 total digits.
Again, never forget.
There's oof.
Oh shit, I forgot.
There's no
Oh no, I
there is
forgot.
there is no possible way for any human being to comprehend that number.
No.
So 8 decks is ridiculous.
This is a thing I'd like to talk about some other time. Is just like the limits on our comprehension.
Yeah.
Because really, you're right. Like, there's no way we could look at that number and go, "Yep, it's a number."
I would imagine most computers can't calculate that.
Nope, probably not.
I mean, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, a computer calculated this, but I mean,
Right.
That's a visual representation of a number that cannot be possibly physically comprehended or visually comprehended.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a numerical representation of a number outside the scope of our comprehension.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's what you're dealing with. You're fucking with the nature of the universe.
Yeah.
My advice is to take up a skill-based game like chess. We just talked about all of the
Morty.
Morty, all of the various chance-related things that come into play in chess. But everything in chess is a logical move. Everything in chess has a purpose.
Except
behind
when I play.
Like, let's say a well-played game, every move should be deliberate.
Yeah.
Sure. And when you're talking about gambling, when you're talking about random chance, that's ultimately it. I don't think we're ever gonna unlock the secrets of luck and its place in the universe.
Yeah.
There have been gods of luck. There was an X-Man named Longshot. His special ability was
To shoot long?
Well, yes. He also had 3 fingers on each hand because he was an
And
alien.
one big penis.
One nice, thick donger.
He also had the most glorious blonde 80s cock rock mullet
Nice.
that you have ever seen.
Long shot.
And his mutant power was that he was just super lucky.
The ability to shoot 8 ropers straight across from 20 feet away.
But that's the ultimate takeaway, I think, is if you're going to gamble, be aware that you're going to be exposed to the fact that the universe is impartial, random, and chaotic, and does not give a shit about you.
Yeah.
And if you lose, it is nobody's fault. Right. There is not a force conspiring against you. There is no justice. If you win, it's not because you've done something right.
Yeah.
It is chaos. It is you exposing yourself to the innermost chaotic workings of the universe, and you're going to have to fucking live with that.
Yeah, you're basically exposing yourself to the hard reality that nothing is deliberate. You know, all things are most things are, you know, an outcropping of chance and circumstance.
Yeah.
And it can be very painful and expensive to learn that lesson.
By the way, here's a picture of Longshot.
My goodness.
It's time once again for the long shot. Good night.
God, I love those guys so much.
So anyway, what kind of time are we at here?
We're inching up on 1 3/4 hours here.
Oh God.
1 3/4 hours. That sounds like a good length for an
stopping
episode to
place.
me. Yeah.
Sure.
I think we covered kind of all our bases.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk briefly about all the little tricks at casinos, the bright flashing lights, the fact that there's no windows or
They
clocks in
pump
casinos.
oxygen into the air.
Right. They're designed to keep you in there. So, on a serious note, if y'all got anyone who's got a gambling problem, that's an actual serious thing. You should.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
talk
like
about that.
after all this silliness that we have walked around here, yes, important to note that it's real.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with throwing down an occasional bet here and there on a football
Right.
game or a hockey game or what have you. But yeah, if you have got to realize that if your desire to see meaning in a field of chaos is too strong, you'll get sucked into it and you'll believe that you deserve to win so badly.
Yeah.
But luck does not owe you anything.
Yeah.
And if you got someone who's too deep into that rabbit hole, do your best to pull them out. There are hotlines. There are
support resources.
Yes.
You know, around this kind of thing.
Yeah. Gosh, I really feel like playing some Hold'em now.
Yeah, me too. I was just
Hey, we
thinking
got the
that.
poker set upstairs.
Yeah,
No
we
joke.
can play some stupid dummy hands of poker.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. We haven't done that in a while.
You're right.
We haven't. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, when we come back, we'll give our recommendations and what we've learned,
All right.
and then we'll figure out what the fuck Dave is doing over there.
I'm just
doing the
making
dance from
gestures. I
Vogue.
don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. All right, we'll take a break.
All right, listen up, chodes.
What up,
Welcome
chodes?
back. Welcome back to the
Sup?
3 Dude Cast.
We have entered Death Chode 5, and we are here
We're on
at,
code Chode alert.
we're on yes,
What is it?
Chode Red.
Chode Blue.
Can we talk about
Mountain
is
Dew.
a chode in fact a dick that is as
Yep.
wide as it is long?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make
exactly
sure.
what it
Just
is.
want to make sure I'm
Mountain Dew.
using the word correctly.
Yeah.
Chode Red.
Mountain Dew Chode Red.
Appropriate.
So anyway, my fellow chodes, we are back on the Three Dudes podcast We had just finished.
my fellow chodes.
We have just finished up our topic on gambling. Maybe this is a thing we'll come back to eventually. Maybe we'll even play some gambling type games on this show.
Oh man, would that be fun?
Follow up episode. That would be, I think, a neat episode to do.
Got to put money up if we're gonna do that, though.
Yeah, we've talked. For how long have we talked about doing like some kind of like low stakes, but definitely like actual money poker,
nickel ante poker?
Yeah.
Yeah. We could definitely do that. So anywho, now though is the part of the show where we talk about our recommendations.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to go first, or may I, or who is willing?
Go for it if you want.
Yeah, you do it.
Okay.
I haven't totally nailed mine down.
Okay. Well, my recommendation for this week is the Netflix documentary series Evil Genius.
Okay. Be careful talking about this because I am so gonna watch this.
I'm going to be very careful talking about it. I'm just going to talk about pretty much the premise. The only thing I can say for sure is that there is a web of intrigue.
A web of intrigue.
A web of intrigue. This is a case that's deeper than it looks. So Evil Genius is 4 episodes. Each episode is an hour long. But it won't even feel like an hour. Like it gets you so wrapped up, and the dog is resting on my foot.
Is it adorable?
It's adorable as hell.
I bet it's pretty adorable.
So Evil Genius is talks about a case that I had heard of before on the internet and never heard anything about after that because I'm a doofus and I didn't do any research on it. But this is the case of a man named Brian Wells up in Erie, Pennsylvania, which isn't that far from here.
Yeah, I know people from Erie.
Yeah. So Brian Wells walks into a PNC bank with an ill-fitting shirt concealing what turns out to be a bomb, a collar bomb wrapped around his neck and locked into place. He demands money, says there's a live bomb around his neck. You know what? I actually can't remember if he gets the money because it actually turns out to not be that important to the remainder of the documentary.
Right.
But on his way out, he takes a fucking lollipop from the dish and it has it in his mouth and he's leaving. He's walking with a cane. This cane, it turns out, is a loaded gun.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Brian Wells is like a 43-year-old man. He's walking with a cane that is actually it holds a single shotgun shell, and is a ready and fireable weapon. Well, it sounds like it, but you gotta remember he's wearing a live bomb around his neck. That is not something a person necessarily does by choice.
Right. Yeah, I know the story.
So naturally, he goes to the nearby McDonald's, and the police apprehend him. They have him down and they realize there's a bomb, so they get some distance from him. He's surrounded by police, probably, I don't know, 20 meters around him, and he's sitting there with this bomb around his neck. He's got cuffs on, and tells them that the bomb is live and it's gonna go off. And shortly after, it fucking goes off.
Oh my God!
It blasts his upper body apart. It kills him pretty much instantly. By the time EOD gets there, they're dealing with remains. They're dealing with the remains of not only Brian Wells but also the bomb. He's got a list with him with instructions, very, very extremely detailed instructions, and warnings about not to disobey or not to deviate from the plan. Stops on where to go, like a scavenger hunt. And this ultimately leads into an investigation that spans several years. This incident happened in 2003, I think. It was either 2003 or 2005, but it's recent enough to be in recent memory. And what investigators find leads them on this like several year long
Goose chase?
Goose chase.
Goose chase.
Well, without spoiling whether it's fruitful or not, it does reveal this massive, interconnected thing.
Yeah. I know enough to know they find something, but I'm not sure what.
Several players involved, several yada yada, and the filmmaker himself, the producer of this film, gets involved and
Oh, really?
Does some digging of his own and talks to the people involved, the suspects in this case, and which, as it turns out, ties into other criminal cases in the Erie, PA area. I don't want to give away too much. But
You're like nervous fidgeting.
I know.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Like trying not to say something.
So I'll tell you this: the documentary opens, and it becomes apparent that it's going to center around a woman named Marjorie Deal Armstrong, who has had a roller coaster of a life.
Okay.
And you'll find out all about Marjorie Deal Armstrong, the other persons of interest in this case. Seriously, like for something that you may have read about on the internet, a pizza delivery guy robs a bank with a live bomb strapped to his neck.
Yeah.
This is just like a one-off, like weird thing that comes up on the internet once in a while.
Yeah.
There is a fucking treasure trove of information there.
I'm gonna try to talk to Christy about watching this on
Evil
Wednesday.
Genius. It's not a long watch. You can knock it out in a single night. It's 4 episodes. Each episode is an hour long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I highly, highly recommend Evil Genius.
I want to see this badly.
The way it's presented too, it does this great thing where it'll like a person of interest you might have thought was inconsequential at first will suddenly become consequential when the narrator goes, let me tell you a little bit about this person, and it'll go into their childhood and etc. And you're like, oh, this person is going to be central then.
Yeah, right.
Like it really is structured in such a brilliant way, and it gives you information, just pieces at a time. It does the job of what a good documentary should do, which is inform you and keep you hooked.
Nice.
It really does. It does a fantastic job of both of those things. And I recommend it. Evil Genius on Netflix. 4 episodes.
I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch this.
How long are the episodes each?
Oh, 1 hour
1 hour?
long.
Okay.
It's like a total of 4 hours of investment.
I will sit in my underwear tomorrow morning and do that while I'm doing laundry.
Yeah.
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 Highly recommend it.
I have 2 this week, if that's okay.
Okay.
The first one is going to be a heavy metal album. It's summertime, which means it's metal season. Somehow. I don't know.
I was going to say, is it?
Yeah, I do that to Trish all the time. I'll look at her. I'll start playing heavy metal in the car. I'll go through phases.
Morty.
I'll go through phases.
Really impressed with you.
Thank you.
I want you to
I
know how
want you to
proud
know
of you I
how
am.
long I worked to be able to do that.
I'm really proud of you.
Wubba-lubba-dub-dub.
The work you put in off the air
Just so I could burp
be-
the word Morty.
to be ready for this podcast.
Real talented guy.
I'm so proud.
No, but I always tell Trisha it's metal season, and it's winter. That means it's metal season, or it's summer. That means it's metal season. it just changes arbitrarily depending on what mood I'm in. So it's metal season. So the album that I'm going to recommend to you is a record by the band Mastodon.
Oh, okay.
The album is called Leviathan. And it is a concept album
Okay.
centered around Moby Dick.
Fuck yes.
Right.
That's
Oh, that
really
sounds
fucking cool.
amazing.
It is just as cool as it sounds. I'm going to show you the album cover. It actually, won all sorts of awards. Mastodon's a really cool metal band.
Yeah.
But the album itself won a bunch of awards. The album cover won a bunch of awards for being really badass. That's the album cover. Oh, fucking cool,
That's
right?
sick.
That's the album cover.
That looks
Oh
awesome.
my god.
Yeah, so it's a
Moby Dick is way more metal than we give it credit.
yeah.
I just wanted to kinda
Moby
say
Dick is metal as fuck.
It's
Yeah.
metal as fuck.
Yeah, and Mastodon knew that, and then they came out with this album. So it's a concept album. There's no direct story. It's just centered around those
Yeah.
tall tales, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's songs on this album that are centered around Moby Dick, like "I Am Ahab," "Sea Beast," "Iron Tusk," which might be one of the coolest metal song names ever.
Yeah.
Heavy metal incidentally has the coolest song names.
Yeah.
And Mastodon has some of my favorites. "Blood and Thunder" is the song that opens the album. Great
hell yeah.
heavy metal song name. Great heavy metal riff too.
Split your lungs with blood and thunder.
Split your lungs with blood and thunder when you see the white whale. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, badass. They have a bunch of other on other albums. They have a bunch of cool song names too, like "Curl of the Burl," "Crusher Destroyer," "March of the Fire Ants." But yeah, no, Leviathan by Mastodon. Fucking insanely cool heavy metal album. Really cool heavy metal guitar licks on there. Came out in 2004. Mastodon, incidentally, is still with their original lineup, still producing really good metal albums. Pretty much every one of their albums has been critically acclaimed, and they're on their like 9th or 10th album right now.
I'm gonna add that right now to my Spotify.
It's cool. It's heavy. I mean, so like it's a fair warning. This is like it's not like, you know, crazy, you know, stab your grandma heavy, but this is a fucking heavy record.
Your grandma.
That's what my dad calls like heavy metal, stab your grandma music. But yeah, Iron Tusk, I think they tune their guitars all the way down to B, which is 3 steps below standard tuning to get that crazy heavy sound.
I tried to swipe the name Mastodon into my phone, and it swiped into Madison, which is significantly less metal.
Yes.
that is a little baby white girl name.
Yeah, but yeah, dig that one, man. That is a cool heavy metal album. It's a really good one to get into Mastodon, and all their songs are really kind of drivey. They're odd. I don't know how to explain them. You'll hear these not really weird time signatures, but weird structures and weird noisescape kind of things that they do with their albums.
You know, our buddy Mike DeMarco just saw Mastodon.
Oh, really?
He went to see them on they're on tour right now. He just went to see them. I can't remember. I think he saw them in Philly, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, badass.
I know.
Nice.
I was I wanted the concert I wanted to see that I didn't get the chance to was when Death Clock was touring. Brandon Smalls, you know, from Metalocalypse.
Yeah.
It was a triple headliner. It was Death Clock, Mastodon, and Lamb of God. And the tour had to get delayed right before it came to this area because Randy Blythe got arrested for something overseas that was like, it's a long story, but he got arrested for something that was like bullshit, like some bullshit charge that he
I
had to
seem to
wait.
remember hearing about
Yeah,
this.
like months to get
It's like
to get
Eastern Europe, right?
yeah, he had to like the U.S. government had to get him out of jail because he was like being held for months in this jail.
Jesus.
That's insane.
Yeah, only to be found innocent of the charges. You know, having to go back. You know, months later.
Yeah.
But yeah, they really fucking creative heavy metal work. Really crazy guitar riffs. Really like there's a lot of pick slides in. That's you know a lot of like really good use of noise in any Mastodon album. But check that one out. That's the first Mastodon album I ever heard. I've been listening to a lot of it lately. So
Nice.
Second recommendation I'm going to make is a TV show on Hulu called The Path. So The Path is a show starring Aaron Paul, who you guys might remember played Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad.
Oh, right.
So
Dog, what are you doing?
I think he's just being a love bug.
The dog has entered the podcast room and is just nosing everything.
Oh, buddy. It stars Aaron Paul, who plays Jesse Pinkman on Breaking Bad. In this show, without giving anything away, because this is one of those shows where we talk about, you know, there's certain shows that go through an arc of what seasons are the best seasons. Sitcoms famously, you know, peak out at like seasons 6 through 8 and then, start to decline.
Sure.
They jump the shark, so to speak.
Yes. And then there's certain shows that, like, I would say a show like Breaking Bad, where every season was continually better than the previous season, culminating in this, like, excellent crescendo of the last 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy, I would classify in that too, where it was just this arc of every season got better all the way up until the very end. This is no exception. There's 3 seasons. Season 3 recently came out. It's on Hulu. But it follows this cult, basically. The Meyerist cult, who was founded in the 60s by one Steve Meyer, who
I was going to say, I'm sure there's a Meyer involved.
yes. And this is this family that follows the light. Their whole worship is towards the light and where the light will lead them and how the light can come into their life and take them. They believe when they die, they will end up in the garden, which is this place that's covered in light, and they'll see all their friends and family. Kind of like how the Mormons have their own planet. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's that same right. It's that same that same belief where there's this place specifically for you and your friends and your followers, the people who believe this thing. The garden is what they call it. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's led when you start the first season. It's there's 10 rungs to the ladder. It kind of follows an upward trend like Scientology.
Right.
There's 10 rungs to the ladder, and there's only a select handful that are 10R, 10th rung. Right. Those are like the people who were there for the beginning.
Sounds a lot like Scientology.
It's kind of led, the main campus, which is in upstate New York, is led by this guy named Cal Roberts. He is an 8R.
Go lay down.
Go.
Yeah. When you give him attention, he rewards you with groaning.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't for a while.
Yeah, he was doing good there. But no, it's led by this guy, Cal Roberts, who is going to be this guy. You're not going to know how to feel about any of these characters. You're going to think this guy is the biggest piece of garbage when you start watching the show. And this is the thing with this show. You're going to go from loving a character 1 minute to hating their guts the next minute. And it will fluctuate several times throughout your viewing of the show. Certain people you will really love at certain intervals, and then the next episode you're going to hate them again.
Yeah.
And it's just going to go back and forth. The one thing I will say about this show that threw me off at first, at least in the first 2 seasons, is that it's paced very strangely.
Okay.
I don't think that's so much a writing thing. It's certainly not an acting thing. I think it's an editing thing. And it's a little funky at first, but if you can get past some of the wonky editing pieces in certain parts of the show,
okay,
the acting, every actor in this show more than makes up for it. These characters, particularly those of Aaron Paul's character, and I can't remember the guy's name who plays Cal. His character especially is very well characterized and very well performed. Okay. There's 2 scenes in particular I'm thinking of where they drop big bombshells on you with his character that are just 2 of the finest pieces of acting that I've seen on television. So I don't want to spoil anything because there are some twists and turns in this show.
Yeah.
And where I'm at right now, they're not enormous, but they're big enough that you're going to go, oh, fuck.
Right.
So yeah, check out The Path. I haven't finished with season 3 yet, but I'm about halfway through it.
I was gonna say, so they dropped the 3rd season.
Yeah.
Do you know if this is the last season? If they're still
we don't know yet. I know they just dropped the 3rd season. It's obviously popular enough that they continued with a 3rd,
right?
Which has thus far been the best season. Right. From what I've seen, and it twists and turns into a lot of really strange places. Okay. I brought up ayahuasca earlier because that is a focal point of this cult. Is that they call it the medicine they take.
The
ayahuasca. And there's
some of Granddad's hallucinogen.
Right, right. Well, there's creepy things like when you need to get something out of your system that you choose to or are forced to be locked in a white room with a cot and a toilet for days or weeks on end, and you just take the medicine.
Yeah, that's how doctors' offices work, right?
Yeah, right. You're in there with your own thoughts and your own,
That's scary.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Fuck that.
So, but there's some very good acting going on in the show. There's very good family struggles. The main family of the show, how they interact with each other, when certain characters want to leave.
Yeah.
How that plays out when certain characters want to stay in or return, how that plays out.
Interesting.
Now, what is the show called again?
It's called The Path, and it's on Hulu.
The Path.
I want to watch this.
It's very good. Give it time, because the first, all the way through the first season, I was thinking this is just good enough for me to keep watching it.
Right.
And the second season is okay, this is getting better, and then they hit the ground running hard. There's some really two scenes I'm thinking of in particular where I was like, okay, I'm into it now. I'm there.
In the third season?
Sure.
In the late second season, then in the third season.
Okay.
I can't show them to you without spoiling anything.
Right,
I wish I could. But yeah, check it out. It's really good. If you have Hulu, it's worth a watch.
Okay.
Enjoy that one.
That's on my list. I want to watch that one.
It's a good one.
It seems good. I love Aaron Paul.
Yeah, he's very good in this show. I can't remember the guy who plays Cal. He is just as good as Aaron Paul's.
Is he a guy we'd know from other things?
Yeah,
or?
you'll recognize his face immediately.
Okay.
You're going to know him as I think he actually played Dexter's brother in Dexter, if you ever saw that.
I did watch some of Dexter, but I can't. Oh, wait. Oh, I remember his brother.
I never watched Dexter.
There's a very dramatic arc involving his brother. It's like probably end of the first season, maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. Hugh Dancy is his name.
Hugh Dancy.
Hugh Dancy.
He plays
Hubert Dosey Do.
He plays Cal Roberts.
Okay.
But yeah, it's you're gonna recognize his face when you see him. He's been in several things.
In my head, he looks a little bit like a bizarro Dennis Reynolds.
Kinda. You're close.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Hugh Dancy. Yeah.
I don't
know what I recognized him from, but I know I recognized his face when I saw him.
He looks like he could be a stock Russian henchman.
Yeah. He's very good in this show. He's I will say this, he's very good at playing Aaron Paul's adversary.
Okay.
Eddie Lane is Aaron Paul's character's name. So Cal Roberts is very good at certain points in being Eddie's adversary.
Nice.
But watch The Path without rambling on too much.
Yeah,
very good.
I want to see this.
Gets better and better.
I will recommend. I'm going to keep this brief. There is a show based on a podcast. I possibly have recommended this before. I can't remember, but I would like to recommend the My Brother, and Me TV show.
Okay.
So the My Brother, and Me podcast is many years old now, and it's run by three brothers, obviously, the McElroy brothers, and it's like
three brothers.
It's just it's just called Three Brothers.
An asteroid strikes.
It's just called Three Brothers.
It's the premise is that it's an advice show, so people will email in with questions about things, and then they'll make sort of silly, stupid recommendations or whatever. It's, mostly a comedy.
Silly, stupid recommendations, you say?
Yeah. It's called Silly, Stupid Recommendations.
Oh, yes. That doesn't sound familiar at all.
So they did a TV show based on this podcast. I think it came out last year, and it was on CISO. You remember CISO?
Yeah.
CISO since has been shuttered.
Yes.
And a lot of their programming has gone over to Verve.
Okay.
And Verve is a paid subscription service.
80s indie band The Verve.
The Verve. Verve VRV.
Oh, okay.
It's so a lot of their content is paid to watch it on Verve, but this is one of the few things that they have that's free for people to watch. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. One of my favorite episodes of this show, someone writes in to ask the guys, how can I get my wife to agree to have a tarantula in the house? Right? He just wants to have a pet tarantula, so he writes for advice.
Like you do.
And the guys decide the best way to do this is to rebrand the tarantula.
Rebrand the tarantula. I love it.
Right? Rather than just try to focus on this very specific person and his problem, they decide they're going to rebrand the tarantula at large. They start calling them ranchos, which is stupid and cute. And they try to have a tarantula parade, a rancho parade.
Oh, rancho parade.
And they try to convince people that they're that they're adorable and all that. And it's a really silly. They try to get celebrity endorsements. So they actually call celebrities' offices trying to get celebrities to come and join them for the Rancho parade. And that's hilarious because they can't even get through it without laughing. So there's a lot of fun episodes of this show. I think it's 6 episodes long, really. And they've been teasing a second season. So Verve has been tweeting, you guys want a second season, essentially. And people, of course, flip out because it's like, oh, they know. They're listening to us, But I would really recommend watching the show. It's free. It's on Verve.
Free.
It's for free. At Verve or vrv.com probably, or I don't know. It's on Verve.
My brother, and me.
Yeah.
I remember a show on Nickelodeon in the 90s.
Cousin Skeeter.
Cousin Skeeter. Oh my God, I forgot about Cousin Skeeter. Jesus Christ. No, it was just called My Brother and Me.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about it. It was about a kid and his brother.
Yeah.
The Secret World of Alex Mack.
Oh, yeah. The Secret World of Cleveland Browns center, Alex Mack.
So yeah, my recommendation, watch My Brother and Me.
All
It's
right.
really good. It's very wholesome.
Also watch Cousin Skeeter.
My recommendation is watch Cousin Skeeter.
Jesus fucking Christ.
If you can find it anywhere.
What a stupid show. They never talk about the fact that he's a puppet.
You're like dying right now.
Look, it's a genetic disorder and he's embarrassed about it.
Is that really what it was? Is just he's a puppet? And no one knows?
Brings it up. No, nobody mentions it. It's a normal part of life. Again, because it's rude to bring it up, Chris. It's rude to bring up when your family member is a fucking puppet.
Look how stupid he is. He's wearing the
God.
Devo hat.
Oh yeah,
That's
I remember
amazing.
that. Oh my God.
That's so dumb.
He's just a little puppet, a little puppetized
Cousin-
fucking Gary Coleman and
Skeeter.
Cousin Skeeter. And you're not supposed to bring it up. That's rude. It's a condition. It's a condition.
Oh, that would explain why they never brought it
He
up.
struggles with this. He struggles with being a puppet.
Oh, that's funny.
Boys,
Okay.
what did we learn?
What have we learned? I learned that Jews do not actually run the world.
Don't.
I just wrote Kony puns ad nauseum.
Yeah, I wrote Kony's baloney pony had a Kony with Boney.
I learned that not even curlers know really what curling is.
No, they really don't. I just wrote down a fairly robust hatred of the gay community.
Oh my God.
Fairly robust.
Robust.
I wrote that old people love Wii bowling. I forgot all about
Yeah,
that.
we bowling, man.
Old people love
Bowling without
bowling.
standing up.
I learned that the house loves and hates you.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
true. I learned that I just wrote, oh God, I wrote Disney let us come in your family.
Disney just wants to come in your family.
Yeah.
I wrote that Stretch Armstrong is made of horse.
Yes.
Ground up horses.
Disney wants to come in your family while dressed as a mouse. Dressed as a giant anthropomorphic mouse in a tuxedo with coattails.
Well,
everything.
I'm not here to kink shame a corporation. Whatever they're into is whatever they're into.
Corporations are people.
Yes, and some of them are perverts.
I learned that you shouldn't neglect video poker
No,
necessarily.
you shouldn't. I learned that men will bet on anything. Anything.
Yeah.
We have anything else? I have a couple more on here.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wrote that Lady Luck is a fickle whore.
yeah.
A sloot.
A sloot.
A sloot.
A sloot.
A new thing I heard today.
and I learned,
Common Guter salute.
I learned that also we are very burpy.
Very, very burpy.
This has been a burpee episode.
Morty.
Burpiest ever. It's uncharacteristically burpy, even for us.
I know. Morty.
Morty.
God.
Well,
Fucking
Well, that does
Jesus.
it. Are you okay? Did you burp into your head somehow?
No, I'm just I'm so full. Anywho, this has been the Three Dudes podcast. This has been the Three Dudes podcast.
Yes, with
we
gassy, burpy, and sniffly.
We hope that whatever you guys do, you do it to the best of your abilities and hopefully without running anyone over.
yep.
Yeah.
And until next time, when Dave will be hosting.
That's right. Which unfortunately will be like 3 weeks from now.
That's right.
Unless we find a way to do it outside of Tuesdays.
We should find a way. We'll see if we can do it.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we should make a concerted
Let's
effort
consider
to
that.
not make
So-
people wait.
Yeah, so we're not calling a hiatus right now, but we'll talk amongst ourselves. You guys don't need to hear any of this top secret discussion. This is for privileged dudes only. But until next time, whenever that may be, do good and please, again, I must stress, don't run anyone over.
No, please don't.
You know who you are.
Yeah. Stop doing that.
Stop it.
We will see you as soon as possible.
Yes, watch Cousin Skeeter.
Watch Cousin Skeeter. All right. Bye-bye.